See, the first one in there not to buy it. And see, that's what I say other people was missing. I can't believe
yeah. All right, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. And just want to say, thank y'all for y'all continued support for this ministry, y'all, both near and far. Y'all know how we do. We're gonna get busy, y'all. We run a little bit behind. So y'all know how we do it. We face toward Holy Jerusalem. Y'all, we lift our hands up high. Men are to uncover their head when prophesying or praying, and women are to cover their head when prophesying or praying within the assembly.
That's right.
So with y'all, with the instructions, y'all, everything decently in order, let's bring this lesson forward.
We're going to get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach. And we call Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 15th chapter, it reads, Yahweh, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned. But he honoreth them that fear the Most High. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. Hallelujah! Say that! Shall never be moved. Shall never be moved.
Y'all, and that's what we're talking about today, y'all. Never being moved. Y'all, we're going to pick it back up with part 2 of this. Last week's lesson was line upon line.
Yes, sir.
We're going to pick it back up with another case study to understanding line upon line. But this one is precept upon precept 101. Y'all, so last week we discussed how to use Isaiah 28th chapter, line upon line, precept upon precept. Everything must be precept with the law according to the subject matter at hand. You cannot be caught up in word etymology. You cannot be caught up in talking about what does it say in the Hebrew. All you're doing is breaking down a word when you say that, okay, in the Hebrew it says this, in the English it says that. But the bottom line is, how does it apply to the law in any language that it's speaking of? Because if you're saying all the other languages are bastard languages, then how do you explain the Hebrew in a bastard language? I mean, that sounds like oxymoron, don't it?
It is an oxymoron.
And 90% of the words you speak are in the bastard language. You ain't changed your government name out of the bastard language.
All of the language, everything they speak is now.
So y'all, what we want to put on your mind again and hope it drills a hole in there concerning the law that we keep reading. It's holy. It's without blemish. It's pure. Thy word is thy truth.
That's right.
It takes it to a whole nother level. Where have we read till heaven and earth pass? Not one jot or one tittle shall pass out of the Hebrew law. What is written there? There ain't no language that supersedes law that you would say, unless you read it in this, you will never understand the law. It ain't there. That's why he said, until heaven and earth pass.
That's right.
Not one jot or one tittle will pass from the law. So it supersedes planet Earth and the atmosphere, and it goes as far as heaven to say, that both of them would have to go away before the law does. Where does it say that about language? Don't say that about language. Because you know what it said? It said in the future, when Messiah come with that holy kingdom, with that true kingdom, with that righteous law reigning in it, then I will give you the language that go along with that. So that you can speak it like the law require you to. How you gonna keep challenging people with word etymology? It say this in Hebrew, it say this in the Arabic, it say this in the Greek. Well, you know what? What does the law say in each one of them languages you read?
Right. And you walking around unclean.
Because no matter what you say it said in the Hebrew, the law still has to apply to that subject matter.
Right.
If you saying, well, school in the Hebrew means this. Well, if it means teaching, then you still have to go to the law and apply it to how it applies with that word definition. The law is the measuring stick.
Exactly.
It's compared or called truth. Give me just a little bit of John 17:17, really quickly. And then y'all will get on this lesson, precept upon precept. What you back there talking about, Sir Thomas? You got a question?
I was telling Lazarus when he get a chance to ask a question or present it, just let him know because the scripture tell you all this condition is so you know how to behave in the house of God.
Boy, that's what we talking about, bro. Righteous behavior, y'all. This don't mean ain't nobody saying we better than nobody, but the bottom line is, I don't care how eloquent you speak Hebrew. If you breaking the law, you just an eloquent Hebrew sinner.
Right.
That's just the bottom line, ain't it? Language don't uplift you.
They don't stop sin from creeping in.
It don't stop singing, does it?
Still come to your mind and you still put your hand forth too.
Boy, come on. In what language? Don't matter, does it? In that language, because you'll be judged in the Hebrew language according to the law what you did.
So what do it mean that you come down here, fill up, and walk in the word and the spirit, and then go outside that door to your fornication?
That means you just needed to kill some time. What they doing down there? Oh, they ain't doing nothing. She told me don't come by till 5, so I'll just hang out downtown. Hell, I can eat and
Kill time and
do a little laughing and get a little word. And when I go in the bathroom, every time they talk about what I'm finna go get into after that.
My old ways made it
Right. Yes, sir.
But I'm coming down there to give you some soul food.
Yes, sir. That's what we're talking about. Soul food, y'all. That's what food that's good for the soul. But just like you would tell somebody, don't eat this, don't eat that, you're basing it off of law, then the same thing applies for soul food. There are certain diets you can't have, you can't be partaker of. You can't be partaker of a certain liquid spiritually. You cannot drink from 2 different cups.
Bad doctrine.
Bad doctrine. Y'all, so we want to just get this understood again. Law reigns supreme after the Melchizedek order, not the order of Aaron, y'all. And we want y'all to clearly understand what we're saying too. If you're explaining something, you have to at least say, while it was under the order of Aaron, this is how it was done. So that people know you're playing fair. But you can't pull the same thing in knowing you're a Hebrew Israelite that the preachers do on Malachi 3:8. Will a man rob God? And you use the same thing. Will a man will I rob you out of your understanding by telling you must say it in Hebrew? A language that's watered down. Who got the pure version of Hebrew? When it started, anybody out there can raise their hand and say, I guarantee you, Abraham spoke it just like this. Where they at?
What was the language before the Tower
Boy,
of
come
Babel?
on.
But not only that.
What did Adam speak?
But the thing is, you're learning Hebrew
Let's get to that.
from the filthy people that you say are going to be destroyed from the face of the earth.
Yes, sir.
You're learning Yiddish.
And talking the bastard language every day. Every day it's the bastard language, ain't it? They fill out, they're type back. I ain't seen nobody send me a full text in Hebrew yet. I've seen all praises to the Most High in Hebrew in part of text, and then the rest of it in that bastard language they call English.
Just like them boys couldn't understand that Edomite speaking in Hebrew.
Yeah,
Talk
shame.
show.
Yeah, shame. They trying to put their heads together. What are he talking? I thought you said you knew. Let's get it. John 17:17 really quickly so we can get some understanding. And then give me Matthew 5:17. Just want to go over these again. So just drill constantly in your head. Everything is measured by the law, not measured by language. You know why? Because it deals with behavior. And if you keeping the law, you ain't never got to say the Most High's name. Where is it written in any manuscript that you must say his name this way? Where is that written at? If you say, okay, well right here in Exodus, it say a lot of things in Exodus. It say the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It say his name is Jehovah. See, once you get past the language game, or word etymology on telling you how Most High don't hear you if you don't call him. Hell, if somebody call you a different name that you known by, you will turn around. Somebody call you Black Robert. I mean, you know that's not your government name. Your mother did first name was Black and last name was Robert. But you will answer it if it ain't in disrespect or whatever. You know, so ain't no way we can call him Most High and say we're disrespecting him by saying a name. Because Messiah said, y'all calling me Beelzebub. Since when do Beelzebub heal the sick? And make the blind see? So y'all call me all the names y'all want me. So that is extrapolated out of the mix already. He said, but what am I doing that's against the law? You're telling me it's unlawful to heal on the Sabbath day. And they just looking at it, wondering what he's speaking. I'm waiting on the answer. He said, because I'm locked and loaded about David eating the showbread, because y'all going to explain that to me next on the table. And we always hear the same thing. They durst not ask him any more questions. Because he went to the law on them, not to the language on them.
Yes, sir.
Let's get there. Where we at, Elijah? John, who got 17? Yeah, are we going to start that in? Go
John
ahead.
chapter 17, verse 17.
What it say?
Sanctify them through thy truth.
Right.
Thy word is truth.
What? Read that again so we get a clear understanding how we must be sanctified.
Sanctify them through thy word, through thy truth.
Right.
Thy word is truth.
See, thy word is truth. Thy word ain't never been attached to language. Thy word is attached to the law. So you must be sanctified by the law. It's the only way he gonna tell you you're washed clean. You kept the law of this and you're washed clean. You can't be washed by language. What do you think you're gonna do on Judgment Day? You think gnashing of teeth, it ain't gonna be Hebrew language flying out of them gnash teeth? You think because they speaking in Hebrew, they can plead their case better on Judgment Day? Lord, I just want to, if you would just take a moment and look at adultery from the Hebrew, and you'll see that I may not be as guilty as you're looking at me right now. How you think you're going to tell that to the Most High? Like he gonna go, oh, hold on, let me double check here. In the Hebrew, okay.
He is saying correctly.
You right, technically you really didn't commit adultery. You, technically you just did a little petty.
Say technically.
See, that type of stuff is how language changes the law. But everything we read, it says law is truth. You finish reading that? Give me a Matthew 5:17 just there really quickly. Psalm 138. And we'll see again, and we'll see what happened. What you saying, Elisha?
Matthew 8:16.
Oh, yes, sir.
You said Matthew 5.
5:17. That's all I want is what it says, what has to pass before the law.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
He say, think not. Don't even let it come into your mind. This is not a getting rid of the law or the prophets. There's two parts to it.
That's right. The law done away with it. Right.
See, that's what we're talking about, but what the master just said.
The
See,
going with what I heard.
that clears up any matter right there about the law. And Paul said the same thing. He ain't never said the law was done away with. He said the law that killeth has got to get going. That law must get going. The law that where you try to manipulate a law like this with language so you can do your bad behavior, that's going to kill you. Especially if you're trying to use word etymology with this. But we're going to do some case studies. Go ahead, finish that up, bro.
It says, I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass.
Till what pass?
Heaven and earth pass. One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
So it says everything written from Genesis 1:1 to Revelation 22:16. It says not one mention of the law going anywhere will go out the door until heaven and earth pass first. That because heaven and earth is ruled by law. The stars, the moon, and the sun, there's a law that tell them what they need to do. You rise at this time, you set at this time.
Because the sun and the moon will be gone.
Boy, come on. Look, told Noah, come up there, don't worry about the seasons. They gonna keep their order. Right. Winter, summer, spring, fall. They won't break ranks, their law. There's a law of gravity, right? There's a law of the universe, ain't it? Mm-hmm. So how, when it gets down to language, law disappears?
Law of nature.
Law of nature, like you said. So, but when it gets down to language, oh, now we trumping law. Well, I beg to differ. What else to say right there, bro?
No need to beg, bro.
Yeah. Well, I rebuke to differ. Go ahead, bro. Yeah, we done. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yes, some too.
Psalm 138, 1 and 2. Just these quick hitters. And we're going to see what trumps language again.
Psalms 138, verse 1. I will praise thee with my whole heart.
With my what kind of heart?
Whole heart.
Right.
Before the gods will I sing praise unto thee. I will worship toward thy holy temple and praise thy name for thy loving kindness and for thy truth. For thou hast magnified thy word above all thy names. So we just read his word is his truth in John 17, right?
That's right.
So he said truth is above all thy names.
That's right.
So how do we let somebody tell us you're supposed to call him this name? How about I don't call him nothing? How about I do like every word is mentioned when the Father say, call on the Messiah, he just say son. Right. And what do the Son say? Father. But what does both of them tell him to check? Check his works.
Right, the law.
Check and see have he broke a law because it say he sinned not.
Does he do my word?
Yo, so we ain't gonna be fooled by word etymology, and we're gonna do these case studies so we may understand. Let me say last thing about the law, Galatians 3:28. So we understand that as well. There's 4 to 6 sides of every law in the Bible. Male, female, free and bond, rich or poor.
Jew, Gentile.
And if you know, and Jew or Gentile, so you know that the same thing, when the Antichrist comes, he's doing the same thing. He's saying, look, I don't care what race you are. The New World Order ain't about Edomites only. It's about controlling the whole world order.
Well, was contributing.
So let's get that understood. He's going to do the same thing. What you got back there, Jeremiah?
When you said about the law, I know there's somewhere in Deuteronomy, how to go.
Long
as these scriptures,
Right. I know you're talking about as long as you're talking about Jeremiah 31.
Okay.
31, right down to 35. And that's talking about too. If it says if the sun and moon break ranks, then Israel, it said, but the moon and all of these never break ranks. They forever last. I kind of feel what you're saying. I'm thinking it's in Jeremiah 31 you're speaking of. But when he says, if these should be,
Yeah, Jeremiah 31.
these laws break.
Like verse 35.
Yeah, on down what I'm talking about. I believe that's what you're speaking of.
That
bro.
Israel shall cease to be a nation.
Yes, cease to be a nation. So y'all, this is why he said, and the prophets. Y'all understand? Because if Israel get wiped out, he say, I might as well end it all anyway, because they'll say Israel is no more. Shalom, y'all.
That's right, shalom.
So y'all, we want to get that good understanding today, y'all. We want to always keep the law. Y'all, and think about this. When we're talking about the law of the flesh and the law of the spirit, we carry that every day.
Verse
But
36 of that 31.
Yeah, but it all depends on where your mindset at is when you do the law. But see, when the law of the flesh and kill it, you know, compare it like this. You'll ride down Coke Brilliant and empty your car out of all the trash that's in it, right on the block. Because you're looking at what you consider just flesh and out of control. It don't know no difference. It's sick down here. But then when you get out to where the grass is cut regularly and manicured, you will hold that trash because you're thinking of the law in there. Once this bag fly out of here, this gonna be the least of my worries. See, that's the difference in the two, the law of the spirit. You thinking already what the consequences is. But when you're in the law of the flesh, you just throw the bag out the car. But you know what the law is regarding what littering is, whether it's on Coke Brilliant or out in Creed Core. You know what the law is about littering. It's the same law, ain't it?
Right, but your conscience is a whole different way. Your conscience level is different.
Respect it.
Yeah.
Where we at, y'all? That was the end of that. So, y'all, we're going to get right to it. Our case study today, let's get Isaiah 28:12. Just hit that real quick to let everybody know where we at. Precept upon precept, line upon line, y'all, is what we're talking about, how these scriptures must be dealt with. When you're dealing with, and the word sin come up, y'all, I'm not talking about just conversation. But when you are talking about something that must be corrected or reproved, it must be done by the law, not by some man's interpretation, not by what I think. You cannot fall victim to Isaiah 55. My ways are not your ways.
That's right. That's right.
Just like heaven is higher than earth, so are my ways against yours. That means that the law of the flesh, the earthly ways, men's ways. He said, my way is way higher than that. That's going to always cause confusion. If you try to do my way about a feast day and all y'all doing is strifing and beefing, you're hollering the law, but you're strifing and beefing. Who does that at a feast day? I'm talking about, do you plan a party? Now look, I'm going to have Junior and little Earl and them come just in case Billy and them get out of line, because see, they can cuss better than anybody that I've ever heard in my life. So see, they'll cuss them out and put them in check. And then I want the brother over here, y'all don't let him in until the slow music start playing, because he like to slow down and he won't be looking for the liquor to drink it all up. So just invite him, but put him on down. Wow. And then invite my mother-in-law, who I ain't never got along with since we've been married. Invite her and her church crew. Oh. And I want you to stanky leg your best. Who does a party like that? Right. But y'all know, just an example of just trying to tell you who invite miscreants to the party, and you expect to have a good time. Right. You know, once you walk through the door and you have to start giving somebody instructions about their bad behavior, they should never cross the threshold. Right. Because the script say you must salute a man's house. Right. When the Pharisees even invited the Messiah to trick him up, he still saluted the house. How y'all doing? Whatever language it was in, where I sit, okay, you sit right here, you know. None of taking over the house. He ain't go over their house kicking over stuff and telling them. Now, he did that in the temple because he said, this is my father's house. That's right. Which it truly was. That's who it was built for, wasn't it?
That's right. He had every right. He was within his rights.
Let's get it, y'all. Isaiah 28:12. Hit that real quick and we're going to get right into the case study. Today's case study is fornication. Last week we did kill, the word kill. But there's 100 different ways that killing come into play. We had to deal with the law involving everyone and how a man was charged with every crime. So y'all, we want to get that clear on the many different ways. Your animal could kill somebody and you're responsible. There's fines need to be paid. There's vehicular homicide. You get drunk, get behind the wheel of a car. There's manslaughter. There's a bunch of different ways, and a law applies to every one of them. You can't mix self-defense and call it murder. Self-defense is not shedding innocent blood. But everything still falls under kill, just like now everything falls under fornication. But the Most High get right, if y'all notice, he get right to the ones that hit and sting the most, that he don't want around him. That's why he said, thou shalt not commit adultery. See, that's a felony under fornication. See, you got fornication, you got adultery, you got bestiality, you got same sex, you got effeminate, you got all of bad sexual behavior, but all of it falls under the title of fornication, which means illegal sexual activity. Now you got felonies up under there, and the one felony is adultery. It's a felony. It carries a life sentence. Pedophilia is to have intercourse with children or whatever, touching a child. It carries a life sentence, no parole. And then you start to get down to the lower levels of fornication, like you may mess with a harlot. And understand what I'm saying about this, y'all. It's not giving bad names. It's just that when you understand, if a woman and a man have sex, it's only two titles given out: wife or harlot. And look, the harlot part may mean she may have tricked her. Come on now. You know I'm getting shipped off to Korea next week. And I'm going to be going through basic training. They may kill me over there. Give me something that a man may want to come home and fight for in the war to come home. I kill all them Japanese over there to be back with you, baby. But I just need a taste of something before I go.
That's how it goes.
Next thing you know, look, that's what I heard. I ain't been to the Philippines. Look, and then here she see a picture show up with him around like this with 3 of the people of that island or wherever they fighting at. He with them now, and she done already did that. So now she's had intercourse without a cover. So the title harlot applied. And she may do that one time, but just because of that one event, that name goes with it. Look, you can't steal and ain't been called a thief, can you? Huh? I mean, if you just see somebody in your wallet and get a 20 out and put it in their pocket and put your wallet back on the dresser, can they say, technically, I'm not stealing your money? What would you technically do at that point? Right. It'll be some gold gophers busted over the skull. Let's get it, y'all. So we'll deal with fornication, y'all, as the case study, and we'll attack it from all the ways that the laws apply. And basically what we're getting down to in that is illegal intercourse against the Most High first. We always want to start in heaven, so that you'll get to understand that if you think because you can get away with it here on earth, you're going to be kicking it like that in the kingdom. No, Tupac. Cato ain't going to get it popping up there for you. It ain't going to be the same type of popping up there. It's a different type of pop. It's a pop of the lake of fire that much wood does kindle it. That's popping. Pop, pop. You know how that wood pop when it's burning? Crackling.
Daniel, we're going to do Isaiah 28:10.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We're going to get right to it. I'm glad you made me remember that, sister. Let's get it. Where we at?
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9.
Yes, sir.
Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For a precept must be upon precept.
So we looked up precept, and it means rule of law. It means how anything, this is the rule of any subject matter. Every gift have rules. There's a rule for tongues. You speak in tongues must be by 2, at the most by 3, and 1 must interpret. If there's no interpreter, you must keep silent. Those are a rule of a gift called tongues. If you don't know the rules or you don't play by the rules, there's a problem with breaking the whole law of tongues. I don't care what language you speak it in. I don't care how fluent you speak it. If you speak it and there's no interpreter, and then the next question, well, I'm speaking to God. Well, you got to go in the closet, as it said, and pray to God that he may edify what I said to you. You can't just be happenstance and think you cool and don't know what the Most High said to you. Well, I ain't supposed to know what he said to me. Yes, you do. Because he may tell you, you know that green suit you like? Get it ready. It's some people called Austin Lane gonna be knocking on your door and remove you from your bed. How you know he ain't telling you that? So you can get your affairs in order. You finna leave like he told Enoch, didn't he? You gotta get out here, go get your affairs in order. You must be edified. You cannot walk around here with a gift thinking you're saying something and there's nobody, everybody looking like, what'd he say? Kid, I don't know why you asking me what'd he say. I don't know why you asking me. If it's a bunch of I don't know, then that's a problem with the law of tongues. So y'all, that's all I'm gonna say about that, so we own the right understanding. Go ahead, Ezra.
It says precept must be upon precept.
Right.
Precept upon precept. Line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Oh, that's a problem right there for language, ain't it? A stammering tongue. So unless, but you got some slicksters out here. See, oh, let's say, dog, here. See, Moses spoke Hebrew. You see what I'm saying? And he said he stuttered. Didn't it say he stuttered? The only problem, he was fluent in Egyptian language too, because he ran all of the affairs and he didn't run them speaking Hebrew.
Right. So
neither did Joseph.
What's the stammering lip tongue?
Right, well that's
according to that scripture.
Right, so what would be
What's
the
that?
And seeing what they do in the Hebrew, when you look up stammering, it means it. No, it's just clearly saying, my law will go forth from a people that you think speaks a bastard or base language. Right. It can go forth from that because they can't escape my judgment. Lord, how was we ever going to learn it and we speak this bastard language? How are we going to know your law? Because you don't have to speak language to do the law.
Say it again.
You ain't got to say a word.
You don't have to say a word.
What you say? Just say it out loud. You're not supposed to say stuff like that out loud.
Not in public, huh, boy? Go ahead, what you got, Theo?
But you're saying Abraham and Seth and all them, they didn't have language, but they, before the children of Israel, they didn't have a language, but they kept the law. Those righteous men, Enoch and all them.
Well, language wasn't on the radar like it is now. They spoke languages because it was 70 languages at the Tower of Babel.
Right.
You know, so languages was there. It's just the fact that when the language started saying, let's speak one language, it caused the building of a Tower of Babel. Just like these Negroes holler now, we must speak one language, and then they're trying to build another Tower of Babel here in another man's kingdom.
A kingdom in prison.
Hey, Don, you have to have a witness. You have to have a simple witness for yourself, right? If you speak in tongues, it can't be you interpreting what you say. You need to have another person.
If it comes out loud, it must be another person. That shows the power of the gift. Right. See, so because, and the only reason you would do it anyway, you would speak fluent Chinese if somebody was just over here from China, don't speak no English. You would speak, and they would stand up and say, truly, I just heard everything you said in my language, and you ain't never spoken before. And then you got an interpreter there, but Paul say, I'd rather speak five words you can understand than 10,000 you can't, because if somebody come in and unlearn, they're like, shit, everybody crazy up in there. The hell is, what kind of conversation is this? Look, if everybody's speaking the same language and we all talking at the same time, that's confusing. Hold on, everybody can't talk at the same time. But everybody's speaking English, ain't it?
Right.
But with everybody talking at the same time, it's still confusion. You have to understand, he's not the author of what? Confusion. And what keeps confusion down is the law. When you're arguing about something, don't the law settle everything?
Yeah.
But he said he was just gonna put it on the table. He wasn't gonna stay in the house long. What did I tell you when I left for work? Didn't I say don't open that door for who? For who? Say it louder, Tobias.
Nobody.
Nobody. But he said he's just gonna bring it up his arms for time, and he wasn't gonna be able to come back here for another week, and I know you wanted it. What did I say?
Exactly.
What did I say?
Don't open the door.
Obedience over sacrifice. You ain't made a sacrifice. You made a sacrifice of disobedience. This boy could have pedophilia on his mind and then found a way how to get in the house.
Don't open the door.
Boy. Where we at?
Verse 12.
You finished that? 28:12, you good? Ed?
Oh, no, you want me to hit 12?
No. What 12 say?
It says, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith
Yeah.
he may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshment, yet they would not hear.
See, this is the refreshing, because the refreshing is line upon line, precept upon precept. So precept is a rule of law. And then you take the line of the subject matter that is dealing with. You get a little bit from here, you get a little bit from there. Like you read about this event happening, like what Reuben did to Jacob, right? You know, he uncovered his nakedness. Well, we can see that happen to Noah and Ham. We can see that's going across the board. And then, you know, a line upon it. Then we'll read about how vile it is and why it's a curse word when you get to 1 Corinthians 5. When it says such things ain't even found among the Gentiles of a man having his father's wife. So it breaks it down. Like, let's even get into further before we get started on this subject matter. We're jumping right into fornication. Is the point of, is the word polygamy, polyandry, polygyny, is that word in the Bible?
No.
Is it in any written instructions on planet Earth? In any, I'm talking about word of the Most High. Is that word in there?
No.
So since that word is not in the Bible, then there's a law that must dictate the behavior of somebody telling you something that's part of the Bible.
That's right.
If it ain't written in there, then the law explains what language or what word you're using. But polygamy or polyandry, ain't none of them words in there. It's called if a man take a second wife. That's the simple language. Then there's a law for it. It says if because it's an if. It's not a must.
You better.
It's not a you better. It's not a he gonna cheat on you anyway. It ain't none of that.
So if I choose not to, then that don't apply to me.
Right.
No, bro, you anti-Bible if you don't.
Now where did that come from? If you ain't polygamous, miss me, bye Felicia. Bye Filipio, if you a man. Felipe. Bye Felicia and Felipe. Bye. I'ma miss you with it because this script tell me if a man take a second wife, here are the rules for that. If a man take a bondwoman, which is different from a free woman because there's a different contract of 7 years versus this year starts right off, this second starts right off with a free woman.
Is that in the law?
That's law.
That's law.
But see, when you make it polygamy and you start saying miss me, then you got me chasing that word that ain't in the Bible. Like it has authority. And it has none. Because the only thing you can get, even word come close to it, is called Elohim. And the marriage of Elohim, meaning the Godhead. Now, if you want to call polygamy the Godhead, then you need to be explaining polygamy by the laws of the Godhead.
You better not let that come out your mouth.
You understand what I'm saying? It has to mirror like this. Like when we say there's three that bear record, we're not calling it the Trinity. It's three that bear record. The Trinity is a total different doctrine.
That's right. Yes, sir.
It says it's one main entity that splits himself up into three parts. That's Trinity. That ain't what we talking about.
No.
I say three that bear witness in heaven and three that bear witness on earth too.
No?
It tells us what bears witness on earth: blood, water, and fire.
That's what it is.
That's it.
But even-
Don't bring me nothing else.
Even a Trinity is a lie to themselves because when they do the sign of the cross, that's 4 steps.
Uh-oh, there is 4 steps, ladies.
Some nigga missing.
Somebody, boy. Yo, but y'all understand what we saying, and anybody say anything out there too about so
Yeah, I
far?
actually got a question.
What's the question?
Sister Tasha is asking, She's saying, I know this is because she's saying it's a stupid question, but no question is a stupid question. But my son and his girlfriend are having relations. They both have never been with anyone else, and he lets everyone know that he's going to marry at 18. Is it sin?
Is they done took part of a marriage ceremony yet, called the bedroom yet?
Yep.
Is that taking place yet? If they have married. Until they complete part 2, they're half married. Everything is lawful. It may not be expedient.
Right.
They may have jumped the gun.
Right.
That's why the laws prevent jumping the gun.
That's right.
It prevents from sex trafficking.
Right.
That's where you get all of the redeeming and ransom of a woman. This is to stop sex trafficking. When you hear, don't bring a foreign nation in, where people keep going overseas to have sex with children. Or take women overseas to have sex as sex slaves. These laws prevent that if a woman caught in that way with sexual intercourse.
Right.
So long as it ain't no who the daddy, we good.
What?
Well, what we're talking about is you still got to complete the process. It must be public knowledge. Because every time we find out, y'all, I know what you're talking about, Zed, but everything we're
come out right.
Right. Yeah, they didn't, right. But I know what you're talking about. But everything we're talking about from the perspective of there's a covenant on the end of a man. And that covenant is a sign that you're a law keeper. And it's put in your shorts for a reason.
That's right.
That's why you don't have pants with the hole in the front. You ain't supposed to let nobody see that covenant but your wife. So when you put that covenant in a woman, you are signing a contract as one flesh with her, inside of her. If you don't mean this,
Then don't do it.
then you just signing paperwork. You back at Rent-A-Center. You know you ain't gonna pay $59 a week for 20 weeks for a $59 VCR.
And you know it was in somebody else's house before yours.
Because you're gonna have it at the pawn shop after week number 2 when they threaten to come get it, when they want ransom or redemption for it. See, y'all, this is what we have to understand. There's different ways that covenant meets with a woman, and there's different ways that it happens. So every time this happens, but you'll have Negroes that just like they want to do one gift and just say you can only get the Holy Spirit like this. They say this the only way you can be married to have is you must have sex. Well, that's a problem off the top because you cannot have a harlot then. You cannot have adultery. You cannot have it if you say sex is marriage.
Well, see, it's just like Jacob.
Because if she has sex with somebody else, they'll just say she married to me now.
Jacob answered is saying they committing fornication until they get married.
Well, no, because everything is lawful, but it's not expedient. See, we just learning these laws and different things. Look, we did it back in the day. Your parents did what was called shack. And you know what finally happened? Yeah, y'all heard Tim and Rita finna get married? About time. Why is that always the answer? About time. Because they've been living together for so long. They got 10 children together. So now everybody's saying about time. What y'all been waiting on to make it legal? I mean, they can say it's already been this way, but well, why are you ready to do this? Because you're thinking about now future inheritance, what I'm going to leave for my children, what may happen if I die before this happened. It could be, I just done spent 20 years in doing this. So now if your plans is to never marry her and just to keep on knocking the stuffings out, then yes, it's fornication.
Yeah.
But there must be a plan to change her to wife so we won't call her harlot. Because you can't let us judge you. If you don't have no plan to make it a legal ceremony and it don't take nothing but 2. Her mama, your mama, if them the only 2, we done tied the knot. Yeah, we went to the courthouse yesterday. Why y'all didn't tell me, baby? Mama didn't want to tell y'all. Y'all just order whatever y'all want off the menu. Anything y'all want off there, anything that's legal on there, you can order it. I'll pay for that. But you can't order that hog fat sandwich or them shrimp. None of that. I ain't paying for that. So you let them know, and then you have a feast, and then they'll report. Tim and Rita got married. It's all over Facebook. It's public. So that we don't have to find out y'all married when she walked through with her belly this big like she got triplets in there. What? And people, Oh, yeah, you didn't know we was together. No, I didn't. But I mean, it's your business, but I didn't. It was no public acknowledgement that this is what took place, y'all. This prevents him from asking her, is she happy, without a cloak of maliciousness on. Because the public knows. So if he asks for her hand, the public knows it. You can't ask for her hand. She belongs to him over there.
Right. She's betrothed.
Until that happens, you're always vulnerable for however many years you're living with a woman until that happens, of the point of that being brought up in the conversation. I don't see no ring. How about we ain't got to have no damn ring? Well, I don't see no bracelets like Rebecca had.
And you'll notice anytime there's not a ceremony and it's just a sexual relationship, even your family who's not even in the truth respects the law when it's consummated through law.
Yeah.
They're happy for you. But if it's no marriage ceremony whatsoever and it's just actions back and forth, then there's a lot of murmuring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backbiting. There's a lot of other things that will exist amongst that relationship because it's not lawful.
Right.
Notice how everybody in the family become overjoyed when someone says we're going to do it by the law.
Yeah.
And we can come and say we bear witness to that law.
See,
them doing it by the law. And everybody's happy.
yes, sir. You can spend
But
the
if
night
you're
at
not doing
Granny's
it by
house,
the law,
in the
I
same
don't know how
room.
long y'all together, there's still murmuring going on about your relationship because it's not lawful.
Y'all might as well get married, right?
That's all they saying, y'all. But we're saying if it don't warrant you, you kind of put the cart before the horse. You got to get back working again, going again good. You got to get things back in order before I take on the responsibilities, the due benevolence of a wife. She don't take on the responsibilities of a man. It works the other way around. Yo, it's either one or two things, and it's about a poor man, not a beggar man. You cannot be begging anybody and tell them to come to the wedding and you beg up on everything you need to survive from here on out. There's no such thing in the Bible. Poor only means there's a level that yearly income comes in. Poor is from this range to this range. Anything under 5,000, they still say you a beggar. There must still be a certain level you make per year before they'll classify you poor, and you get up to here, then they say that's middle class, then you go up here. Now you're dealing with the rich.
Right.
But there's no class called beggar. It says it's not a life to be counted as a life. So what does that, then that means it tells you, then the law says there's a difference between a beggar and a poor man.
Right.
It's saying there must be a difference. It's saying this one is not to be counted as a life. This one you're going to have with you your whole life so that you keep remembering how to give. But you can't give to a beggar because he'll never get up on his feet.
Right.
A poor man going to get back up.
So that poor man labor just doesn't have enough.
It just don't have enough. So that tells him in his mind that if I have to take on two women and I'm struggling with one, then is it my God-given right or is it lust? Because I ain't read no instruction in here that teaches a doctrine called polygamy by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or the 12 tribes. It's never mentioned. And thou must fill thy oats. Thou must exercise thy loins loosely.
We're talking about Abraham Lincoln.
Thou must take at least two women. And thou must gather more. Because of what Nathan said to David. Thou must not stop. And if one says anything to you, thou must say to him, you can miss me. If you're not a polygamist.
You ought to do a movie.
Look. It ain't in there. It's rude for a woman that has sex. If she have sex, it must be with a covering, and her title is wife. If she does not have a covering, it's harlot. If she practices it that way, it's called a whore. It's a practicing harlot. But the name has to be there so a woman gets a husband and not think that she can just say, I don't need a man for nothing. And likewise the man, because the man is not without the woman. Neither is the woman without the man. You can't make a baby with two menses.
No.
Can you?
No. I ain't never seen it, don't want to see it.
This. Look, this is what it comes down to, y'all. We're going to move on. Ladies, understand. When they say be found, the man that finds a wife finds a what? So you have to be found. You can't go hunting. You can't be a woman on the hunt, because it's going to cause problems for you. If you're on the hunt, it ain't like, you know, you meet somebody somewhere where you're at, but it still has to be according to the rules so you don't get taken by this craftiness out here. Y'all, ain't no law that say you must have a cover. Where that's at? Your covering is Messiah.
You better get with someone now.
And look, if you know a woman, I mean, she just hurled the mattress off her back and came down here and said, I'm ready to quit that life. And a public ceremony take place, we can't remember that no more.
That's right.
We can't say that's MB, that ain't mattress back no more, that's a wife. That's Earl's wife. I mean, but look, you may think it in your mind, but you can't say it and not be consciously judged for it.
Right.
Look, contrary to belief, you can make a housewife if she obeys the rules of a wife. It's the only way.
That's right.
Only way.
It's the only way. We're going to get into that in Hosea chapter 1, 2, and 3 about the prophet marrying a harlot to show Israel their behavior. Y'all, but this is going to work perfectly with our case study today, and we're going to see the various forms of laws that apply to every way a woman. It covers rape. When you do that, that changes her title. That takes her off the market for a man that's looking for a virgin, and she didn't do nothing. Some rogue Negro was itching in his rear, jumped out like a wolf and attacked her.
What happened to Dinah?
Right.
But he was willing to marry her afterwards.
Because that's the term they said, he treated our sister like a what? A harlot. Ain't gonna be done in Israel. But this is why I'm saying this, all y'all, to get to this. Is there anywhere in the Bible that a harlot is ever charged with a crime? Any writings you read, unless what? Unless she plays the harlot.
That's right.
Not saying that you can go out and throw your legs wide open. It's just like a man that have intercourse with a single woman. It says if he spends all his money on harlots, he will be brought to a price of bread. That's your punishment. You won't be able to keep up. The hotel monies is high. The buying out is high. The having to pay for a refrigerator over here and you live over there and you're paying bills in two places. You're hiding the bill in your glove box up under the warranty inspection and all that. Look, it ain't gonna work. You gonna wish you was married. Look, man, folks talk to me. Look, they say I'm easy to talk to. Folks tell me these things. Yo, let's get going. What you got? Any experiences? What you got, Emo?
So, question. Two questions. You said there's no, did I hear correctly? You said there's no place in the scriptures where a woman has to have a cover?
Where it says she must have a cover.
She must have.
Must have a
Because
cover.
there's a doctrine going out where guys are telling sisters that if they have no covering, they need to find one or go back to their father's house, but they better get a covering over them, not Christ.
Right.
A man, a physical, fleshly man must be within their household.
The ticket you tone.
So, the next question, then what actually happened when I was reading about Gomer?
That's where we're going today. Hosea 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we're gonna see the language. Can she still be entertained or still go to work like she used to? That's gonna change the difference. That's where we're gonna say, contrary to belief, you can if her heart is right and willing to change.
What about
That she don't go. Now look, Look, it works the same way, male and female too, because when a woman marry a player, what they gonna say, girl, you marrying a dog? Look, a dog he don't care who he hump on. You marrying a dog, so that means he don't care how he do. He hump and scratch publicly. It's publicly. You marrying that dog, but you, girl, you gonna marry that player? You know he can't have one woman where he say, I'm all the woman he needs. You can fool yourself if you want, unless he's through with that behavior and he truly want one. That can happen. But y'all, it's two sides of the coin. It's male and female, rich and poor concerning marriage. But there's no thing called a beggar relationship with man and woman. It does not exist. And if you find yourself in that position, it's going to be pain and trouble. That's right. One ask, I'm saying this, y'all want to move on. What happens if a man falls on hard times? Do he have to continue to supply these three things? It's the three things. Food, shelter, and clothing. If he falls on hard times, they're one flesh, she's on hard time. He ain't got nowhere to live either. But it's still required for him as a man to say, look, I'm gonna send you back to your father's house or your mother's house, but I'm gonna go get in ready labor if I ain't injured. I'm gonna go stand in front of Home Depot. I'm gonna bring your mother this much for you to stay there a week. I'm gonna give your father, but it ain't gonna be no hanky-panky. I ain't coming there, even though I could, but I'm not living there. I'll come and get you on the weekend, and we'll go spend the weekend together, but then you come back here. He's still on the hook unless he's damaged. And look, if he's damaged past that, it's illegal to get a divorce. If anyone is sick or on their deathbed, you cannot divorce them. Under no circumstances. You cannot divorce them.
Through sickness or health.
Through sickness or health. That means from those perspectives.
Richer for poor.
For richer for poor. You cannot divorce them under those circumstances. Look, it said for richer or for poor. It didn't say for richer or for beggar, did it? No. But it said a poor man's status of marriage. Two types of men, M-A-N, meeting all needs. That's all a man have to do. A woman want to be a virtuous woman and get her own little business or something. She's taking care of her wants. But man, meeting all needs. Now women, you get desperate and you want to go find a man and you be hunting for him, then you're going to get an M-A-N, a mooching ass nigga. One or the other. You can get meet all needs or a mooching ass nigga. It's your choice. But don't blame the scripture.
I got a question.
What you got, brother?
If a man is, if you dealing with a woman and you know before you even deal with her that you're not going to marry her, ever, has he committed sin?
Yes.
Yeah, because you already made a decision, a conscious decision in your heart.
Yeah. Already in your heart.
Mm-hmm. You already laid out your
guile is called.
Yeah. Because everything you gonna say is for the sake of getting what you want out the relationship.
That's right.
It has no good intent.
None. What you got, sis?
So last question, I promise.
Go ahead, sis. Take your time. We couldn't hit it. Go ahead.
In this, when the man is not taking care of that woman, all needs the man.
Right.
And he is not, but he has others, so what would you call that?
If he's taking care of others and ain't taking care of home, that's still he back in this same mode. He's just a player. He's just bouncing to who can take care of him for this moment. Once she run out of energy, he'll go back to the other one. Maybe hopefully she gains some steam back, but the bottom line is, if you're having intercourse, male or female, there must be paperwork. And there must be a public acknowledgement with two people minimum that can report to the entire world, no. They are married, I was there. Y'all, it's as simple as that. Ain't nobody said you got to spend 5 salaries on a ring, did it? No. Ain't nobody said that. Ain't nobody, they said, but if you two are going to make a baby, then there must be a level of responsibility before y'all get this action started. Because if you can't take care of each other, you can't take care of what's coming in 9 months. And then the law tells you how far you can go after that one so you don't keep popping them back to back. You have to go through a waiting period. A boy, 40 days. A girl, 80 days you got to wait. Now, if a Negro can't wait for her monthly, what is he gonna do with them days?
You can't even plant seed in the earth after so many
After 7 years, you got to cut it off. Y'all, these things are all part of the law, and that's what it means. If you offend in one point right here, and y'all understand it said offend. If you tell somebody they're breaking the law on this point, and you breaking 9 points of that same law, we're not talking about the other 612. I'm saying there's law, there's 6 sides minimum what we just said. If any one of those are broken, you're guilty of that whole law if you offended with it. Offense is like telling us today, oh, you niggas just scared of your woman. That's why you don't want 2 of them. What does that got to do with being scared of them?
Right.
I mean, once the threats come out, the only thing it says for a woman is don't deck your hair out then or attract angels. That's all it ever said.
modest apparel.
That's what it said. It didn't say they couldn't have their hair braided. Where do you read just wrap a rag around it and let Cuckabud City show? It must be sofa 8 free. It must be Afro Sheen free. The hair is your glory. That's what 1 Corinthians 11 say, don't it? Your hair is your glory, so it has to present itself that it don't shame you and it don't attract unworthy visitors. That's the glory. It ain't got nothing to do with a woman can't braid her hair. It says if it tempts, you can't do it. It's the same way if she buy them jeans and she have to run in them to get them home. And then zip them up with help from 2 children. Hey, come on, keep pulling, keep pulling. Hold on, wait a minute, I gotta suck my stomach in again. Go ahead, zip up again. And then you look in the mirror and say, this gonna get them at the club tonight. You cannot do that. That's not modest apparel.
That's right.
You're about to get an MAN.
Or yeast infection.
One of the two, bro. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. We way behind. Wisdom of Solomon, 14. We're going to start about verse 12. Y'all start at verse 1. You're going to get to understand it, but we're going to see where this that makes the most high are the felony ranges of these things. The prodigal son spent his entire inheritance, didn't it? Luke 15, what does it say he spent all his money on? Oh, what? Say it louder. Okay, that's what he spent all his money on. Not once did it say he was in jail, but it say reduce him. He had to live in a pigsty. I mean, no cash at this point. Spend all your money at the strip club and then try to pick some of it back up. Or ask for some of it back and see where you be living. It'd probably be intensive care for 3 weeks once them bouncers get through with you.
You start at verse 6. You start at 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna start at 1.
And then old lady gonna put you out, so you're gonna be living in a pigsty. Somewhere I can just hang because I just spent all of this like this. Y'all, when you get through, there's no such thing in this scripture called a free male. There are females that come with a fee. Whether they're a whore, whether they're a wife, they come with a fee. Females, not free males. When you go with the free male doctrine, you're headed for the witches and the what do you call it? And the dragons. That's free mailing.
Yeah. That's right.
They come with that territory.
Yep.
Let's get some money.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter.
You gotta stop that boy. He even asked me earlier when we do nothing.
Right. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Start at 1, Daniel.
Okay, bro. That's good. Y'all, and then we're going to get right
chapter 14.
into Hosea chapter 1, 2, and 3 to explain everything we're saying. Y'all, so that we don't even somebody that had a bad life, y'all, like we all had bad lives. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna move on. I know y'all said, but just so you don't continue to call a woman that if she got a husband, but it say people start player hating her because she may have changed her mind and finally got with a man that love her. He gonna find out about her ass. Wait, you cannot wish that on nobody once that changes.
That's wicked, man.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. We'll start our reading in verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family. Again, one preparing himself to sail and about to pass through the raging waves, calleth upon a piece of wood more rotten than the vessel that carrieth him. For verily desire of gain devised that, and the workman built it by his skill. By thy providence, O Father, governeth it, for thou hast made a way in the sea, and a safe path in the waves.
So right here is giving the understanding of the Most High say, he's asking right here, so govern this for me. It said, you built a boat basically, and you built it out of something that's more rotten than yourself. You still alive. It's just wood. It's gonna rock because it's in the water, and it needs your help. You don't, the wood can't come to you and build itself a house for you. So then it says, right here, it says the Lord, you know, right here, make it profitous for me, that I made this with my hand. The problem is, as we're gonna continue, he gonna start worshiping that boat.
That's right.
Like it can get him through anything.
Right.
Then your mind is be like the Titanic. It's unsinkable.
Unsinkable.
What the Most High used to cut it in half?
Ice.
Iceberg. Cut through it like a hot knife through butter.
Ripped it all the way across.
Let's get it.
Verse 4.
What it say?
Showing that thou canst save from all danger. Yea, though a man went to sea without art. Nevertheless, thou wouldest not that the works of thy wisdom should be idle.
Should be what?
Should be idle. And therefore do men commit their lives to a small piece of wood.
See, now you're trusting in it. Now you got on them new Jordans worth about $600 and you at the bus stop. It's a problem. It's a hoopty on sale for $350. Plates new, you just got to get them transferred in your name for another $50. But it ain't the same thing. They can't see them Jordans when I'm riding in that hoopty. They see them when I'm on the bus stop. Where the mental at?
That jacket on the bus stop.
Yeah, he right there looking. Go ahead.
They're my side.
Yeah.
And passing the rough sea in a weak vessel are saved. For in the old time also, when the proud giants perished.
When the who perished?
The proud giants perished.
Right.
The hope of the world governed by thy hand escaped in a weak vessel.
What kind of vessel?
A weak vessel.
What was that vessel called? The ark. Noah's ark this talking about. So we still get into mind that the man is bigger than the piece of wood that you had to fashion. How then do you become below that? Get some more.
And left to all ages a seed of generation. For blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh. But that which is made with the hands is cursed.
It's what?
Is cursed.
So how do we know? And some will say, well, how do we know that ain't the Most High speaking? He made us and we curse. See right there? He make people that's cursed. This ain't talking about the Most High. Because everything we read, even that we read on earth, and it said in the third day, the morning and the evening, and it was what? Good. So how does bad get in when it's good and it ain't included? It did that on every day of it, didn't it?
Yeah, he said, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Let's get some more, y'all.
But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it. He, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God.
See y'all, you see what changes it? Not only have you put that piece of rotten wood above yourself, you put it above God and call it God. So now the clay has become the potter.
Right.
And the rotten wood is the master. Ain't that crazy? Let's get some more.
For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto Yah. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of Yah they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men.
To the what?
To the souls of men. And a snare to the feet of the unwise.
See, it say even the Gentiles, they can holler, we ain't under the law no more, all you want. He say, if it's a statue of Mary, I'm coming to visit y'all. If it's a statue of Buddha, we're gonna talk about it. I'ma see if he can muster up some strength to get his fat rear end up to talk to me when I come to y'all Buddha statue. Get some more.
Verse 12.
What it say?
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Earthly fornication.
Spiritual fornication.
Uh-huh.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
See, and the invention of them is corruption of life. So we're talking about spiritual fornication, the beginning of them. Once it's not an attack on me like you gonna do your own God because I practice this. You're attacking the Most High. Yeah. You made something that you're going beyond me. It's like, look, bro, you ain't arguing with me. You disrespecting the Most High. Right. Even on the level that where they begged for a king in 1 Samuel 8. Give us a king like the other nation. Samuel mad as hell. Lord say, Samuel, that ain't at you. This ain't personal about you. You gonna die like them. They at me. This a hit on me. They don't like the way I get down. They think I ought to be out there protruding in front and parading a champion around like they parading that champion Goliath. Because they called him a champion, didn't they? Right.
It's just like in the wilderness.
But we didn't have no champion out there because Saul sure wasn't out there. And what was David's brothers doing? So you see why we can't have that? Let's get some more. Where we at? Is that it?
Oh, that's what you were just.
Yeah, I just wanted to hold that to what the beginning of it was. It starts up high. So it started with Lucifer wanting worship. It starts up high. But Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael always tell you, get up. Get up now, please, we brothers. But now Lucifer, what's the first thing he asked besides 4 and 4? If thou wilt bow down to me, I give you all these kingdoms.
And they all his anyway.
And they all his anyway. See, he wants us to think, well, I must be something special the way your father, our daddy, made me. Hell, it's my daddy too. This is what Lucifer is. It's my daddy too. He made me more handsomer than y'all. I got a better voice than y'all. I got a better breastplate than y'all. But the part he missed is he didn't holler, and I'll die spiritually like y'all if we break the law of heaven. Which he did. And was cast out of there. If he can't be there, how we think we going in there with this foolishness? They can't be found in the Bible with you must, something when it's an if there. And you teach it like a must. And then if I don't agree with it, miss me or you ain't my friend. What kind of man? That's Pharisee talk.
Yeah. Major. No, that ain't even Pharisee, because even the Pharisees knew the law, at least.
They claim
they earned law, but
well, they didn't even know that. They were just sitting in Moses' seats. They was making up their own stuff. They would quote it and then make it up through word after mouth.
They can't even quote the law.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They can't even quote the law. Because everything they stressing ain't even written. So they can't even quote the law. So they can't even be Pharisees.
No. Look, the behavior is the dressing up part. You look for all the signs. Overly dressed. Chief seats at the feast. Overly dressed. Chief seats looking blinged out. Asking questions that can't be found written and say they're in the Bible. I mean, and this is no, y'all, anybody doing polygamy like they supposed to be doing, I'll just say that thing. Anybody doing a man that has more than one wife, I should say that. Yeah. So we say the right term. Right. And you handling your business, the reason we ain't heard from you because you ain't broadcasting. You don't have to. It's like a man with one. Why would we every week we put up something about this like you got to see? Like, what the hell? I mean, come on. Every day, every week. It's one or two things. Either you at me or she saying you ain't showing me enough love. Get out there on Facebook and show your love to the world about me. It's one or the other. But y'all, these scripts don't tell us to do that. If you're handling your business, ain't no need in broadcasting it. It say let somebody else broadcast.
Nobody gonna have to say that.
But you're trying to explain something that's not written in here and you tell me to miss you. Bye, Felipe. Bye, Felicia. Goodbye. We'll miss you. Yes, we will. Let's get some more. Night, night, like you say, Elijah. 1 Corinthians 6, 19 and 20. and then we're going to get into Hosea chapter 1, 2, and 3. They short chapters, but y'all's going to cover everything, and we're going to go to the law to see how it applies in these situations. Yes, we are, G-Baby. Look, y'all, and the reason why, because word etymology comes from these camps, is camp teaching, and it's debate teaching. So when they get into word etymology, because you can't debate the law, it is what it is. It's impossible to debate the law. Every word says debate in the Bible, it's on the positive side. If it said, if you're going to debate. But out of 9 of the 10 scriptures that say debate, 9 of them say you better not be doing it. The word causes strife.
That's right.
Because debate is just like where it say religion, but it say pure religion is undefiled. It's not concerned about the word religion. It's just saying if you want to call it religion, it can't be defiled.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So how you calling a doctrine, or you saying they in the Christian religion and your religion say the Son of Man is blemished? Your religion ain't pure, is it?
No, it's not.
Not by a long shot, right?
Where we at?
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse 19.
Verse, 1920, yes sir, unless you want to move it back.
We want to go back to
It's on y'all, wherever y'all at. It's up to you, bro, wherever you want to go.
right back to 14.
18, back to,
14.
okay.
Going back to 14.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Going back to 14, y'all. 1 Corinthians 6 and 14, y'all. And this is just, we're just hitting the points, and we just understood where the beginning of fornication was all basic. So you know, that lets you know the Most High didn't create evil. Because there's nowhere in no writing that any entity seduced Satan. He's the father of murder. He's the father of lies. If you the father of it, then can't nobody be above you in it, can it?
You started it.
Huh?
Progenital.
Go back to 13.
Yeah, go back outside.
Right.
That's right.
But look, y'all be careful. Hey, don't you go outside and don't let us know who coming in here. They didn't mean that.
That's right.
Yo, that's our first line of defense. We just playing. Go ahead, bro.
I got you out.
13, go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6,
12.
and verse 12.
Okay.
All right.
There it is. We need that though, right there. We need that. Go ahead, bro. That's good. That's good.
All things are lawful unto me,
All things are lawful,
but all things are not expedient.
right?
All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any.
See, you can't be brought under the power of any. Nobody can't make you do anything. There's a beard law. Who gonna make me grow a beard? And if I can't by the weekend, what's my punishment?
He ain't going to
Huh? Look, you might well start whooping on me now if that's it. Whatever the punishment is, you might well start now, because your chances of hitting Powerball twice in a week gonna be better than me growing a beard by Saturday. Me, you right, Elisha too.
Grow your stubble, man.
Right, yeah.
I'm proud of my whiskers.
See, but if we look up stubble in the Hebrew, it ain't gonna say beard. I'm just messing with you. But that's how they'll play against you, against that law. I can't be brought under that, unless, I make myself have the permanent O.J. Simpson look. I mean, smooth about the lips and under here. And I make it permanent. That means to do something to it that hair will never grow again. It's one thing to have a smooth lip, but if you done something where it blocks the follicles from growing up, now you have marred it. You've destroyed it. That's what the scriptures say. If you mar the coin, you destroy it where it can never grow again. You got permanent pork chops.
Right.
Because can't nothing grow up under you. You done fixed it where those follicles will never grow hair again.
You got the seal face.
You got the seal face. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, yes
But
sir.
that's what pagan nations used to do is rip out their beards by
Make you kilo and over.
But that's what y'all just said is very, very important, because the law, there is a law that you could pluck the hair from your beard. It's like getting in sackcloth. See, that's why the Messiah gave his cheek and they tore his beard out. See, when you get into the book of the Ezra, a priest would rip out their beard. Instead of renting your clothes, they would tear, because this is a man's glory, so to speak. His beard represented him. They would tear a hole in it. I don't care nothing about this beard. Lord, help me. Help me. So that's what it comes down to. That's why I said this body ain't nothing. That's why he gave his cheeks to the smiley. Y'all do whatever you want to. They saw him picking it and keeping it nice, and then we'll just grab the handful of it and throw it out of the side plate. Yeah, God, my. So y'all understand that when we talk about mar and beard, you got to be able to cover the law of, can you pluck a beard? Why was priests doing that? Right. You'll see that. What happened with Joseph getting shaved and no law broken? How about the man that David met up David? David said, where you been? You dusty as hell. He said, I am. He said, I ain't even trimmed my beard in 2-3 days. A week. That's what he was letting David know. I ain't even had a chance to trim my beard. So we ain't supposed to have that wild beard like the Edomites. We are groomed, neat people. That's why every archaeology picture you see, they're neatly groomed just like they just left the bar. You ever see pictures with wild hair and look like a James Brown or West photo wig? You ever seen that on a beard on a picture? No, we were that type of people. The whole world looked to us like that. Let's get some more, y'all. Let's get it. I ain't stopping no more, y'all.
Okay. Verse 13.
What it say?
Meats for the belly,
right?
And the belly for meats. But Yah shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication.
What is it not for?
Fornication. But for the Most High.
See, now if we just think fornication is just a sin itself, then we could, if you think it is different from, or it's just a whole body is something different from adultery, then you say, well, if the body ain't there, how about it's the body for adultery then? But if you don't understand the law, fornication is the title. Underneath it are the different ways to commit fornication. First starting spiritual with adultery, another God. That's why I start off first commandment. Thou shalt have no other God. That's the first level. It's a felony. That's adultery, spiritual adultery. And then you go on down, and you may get all the way down here in fornication of a regular visitor of heart, so to speak, that you said, if your mind says this is better than taking on a wife, I'll just pay my way through this. Well, it said there's still a punishment coming for it. It's called being brought to a price of bread. See, and y'all have to understand this is mental too, because Bill Clinton is still brought to a price of bread about Monica Lewinsky. Can't shake it. You can't shake it. He still got money, but he can't shake it. You understand what I'm saying? And then the woman painted a picture of him in a blue dress at Jeffrey Epstein's house. Whoa. What the hell is that about? What's really going on? Let's read some more.
So, question.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is it. So the man isn't. Can you say the same thing, that the body is a spiritual? It's our sacrifice to the Father. So we're sacrificing it to another, something that's not the Father.
Well, it's saying fornication. So what he's saying is you're doing some spiritual intercourse with another God. See, and by we're married to him, we'll never be a harlot. We play the harlot.
That's it.
We're in a marriage.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can't be playing harlots because we married to the Most High.
Right.
So all we can do is play the harlot. And that's what playing the harlot come into sin, because the woman in Proverbs 7, she said, for my husband is going on a long journey. Yeah. Right. She played the harlot. Tamar played the harlot against Judah. She played the harlot because she was technically married to the baby son. So she played it. Then you see punishments coming. Other than self-punishment. Look, we can whoop our own we're in. You can do enough to whoop your own rear end. The Most High ain't got to do nothing. He gonna keep it. We call that what? Hard head or your head. What it say? A hard head making what? Those are on the table for your behavior to get you straight. If you still don't want to do this, you're gonna keep going down on Grand, getting that shot in your rear end. Then you try to start making up excuses and say, well, everybody has herpes. Most people just don't know it. It's not the same. I'm scratching in my nose, you scratching in your shorts. It's not the same.
No, it's not. No, sir.
Allergies cause mine. Bad asses cause yours. Two different things.
Fornication.
Let's get some more.
Hey, Jacob say one of the candles out on the door.
Okay, yeah, we get it.
Continuation on verse 13. Now the body is not for fornication, but for the Most High, and the Most High for the body. And Yah hath both raised up the Most High, and will also raise up us by his own power.
Yes, sir.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of a Mashiach?
See, it's a member. And when we talk about the body, to one is given the gift it is. If you got a gift and you're using that gift for the dark side, you bring fornication to the body. It's like knowing that if you keep, you don't cut your toenails, you got away with gangrene the last time, and you let them grow out of control again. It's going to affect the whole body, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Bob Marley died of, gangrene. Kicked a soccer ball in some too tight shoes, the toenail cut his foot, he didn't go to the hospital. I thought Bob Marley had one blunt too big and just overwhelmed him. But died from gangrene in the big toe. How does the big toe affect the whole body? You know why? Because it gets to the life. And what is the life? Blood. Don't matter where it attacks at. If it attacks the blood, and that's what it said, fornication attacks the blood, which is the life. It's gonna affect the blood. You can't just say I can bring another woman home and ain't nothing you can say about it, and she's the tire shop hoe. You finna bring bad blood in here. You gonna get in me and you ain't using prophylactics. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
You ain't using because you say they're against the law. So you dipping that and then dipping me. And probably breaking the rules of that, because you're probably dipping twice, and the rules say once you unclean to sundown.
Double dipping.
You're dipping again before sundown.
That also causes women to have.
It's gonna cause them to be itching and scratching.
Exactly.
And she gonna tell you I wasn't scratching like this yesterday.
Exactly.
Before you went and got that flat fixed.
Exactly.
Or you gonna say, get out of here, you drag.
Right. If they only itching because of you, itching because you getting on my nerve, dragon. No. You be scratching your head.
You scratching your head.
Let's get it. What you got here, brother?
So two things, and you know what, I don't know what happened. But anyway, two things. The first thing is you know what, it's interesting. The first thing is you're asking this woman to allow the man to be her God.
Right.
That's one.
Yeah.
Not only that, with the multiple wives, you're bringing all of these bacteria, all of these diseases. But the Bible, but doesn't the scripture talk about those, all of these diseases will come upon those that are cursed?
Yeah.
So you're asking her to accept, or the women to accept the curse, which you asked to come upon, that says that you are their God.
Right.
And these women can't get rid of these bacteria and these things that will bring oppression upon their body, their flesh, their.
What about if she don't know she's pregnant?
See, and among the babies too. So you're asking 2 to 3 generations to be affected.
Yeah.
By that one sin of lust.
But see, notice what we're saying, sister. We ain't said nothing about a man-made title. The script say, if a man take a second wife, that's the only thing we can. Look, if you want to get down to what you can say, that's what you can say according to the law. You don't never have to say polygamy or none of that stuff. But what that doctrine says is you don't have to tell nobody. You don't have to tell your wife, and that's a lie. That can't be found in the scripture. You know why? Because they only go to the scripture to say, and he took him another wife. That don't mean he didn't ask and say, baby, we need another one, do it. How do you just assume it means because it say he did it, that's not including his wife? If you're going to do that, then you have to extrapolate everything else that mentions a man as one body and includes his wife as part of the Godhead when you're saying he and you're one flesh. You got to get rid of all of it. You can't have it both ways.
Right.
But the three things the Most High say he loved more than anything, we'll get that in just a second as we continue on. Because he's going to tell you what he loved more than anything. Now, I want to be on the side of what he loved with all the stuff I got to be worried about what he don't like about me. I got to get on his good side some kind of way, and that ain't it.
See.
Go ahead, where we at? Y'all keep reading that.
Verse 15.
You good with that, Emo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Hamashiach? Shall I then take the members of Hamashiach and make them the members of an harlot?
And make it a member of a what?
An harlot?
See, a harlot is a woman that don't have protection. You can't bring a woman that you ain't had a public ceremony with to the ceremony. You already behind on this. This one wasn't public. Now you bringing another one that ain't been public. You still got to present both of them with two witnesses to the public some kind of way, somewhere, in your kitchen somewhere. When David took Bathsheba, they keep talking about he went in the cave and that was no money. That didn't have nothing to do with money. His men's went and got her and her handmaids. And he said, I'm taking care of all y'all because your handmaids are part of your property. They don't belong to me. They belong to you, Abigail. Those are your handmaids given to you. That's not my property. I'm marrying you, but that's your property until you decide to give it to me. You ain't never saw in these scriptures nobody, a woman with a handmaid, a man just took her handmaid, because it's rape if he do. He cannot do. He must be given permission. Here's my handmaid. How Laban lived. Laban gave them handmaids to her. There's contractual agreements with a man and a woman getting together. You make contract. You don't make contract while the action is happening. It's not a thrust contract. And I'm gonna send you the trips you like. Let me get out of there.
Daniel, thrust contract.
Daniel, before you move on, but you're absolutely true, because I can remember months before we had that crap going on down here. Those men was telling those women that they had to have a cover.
They had to.
And when one of them called me, I always used to tell them that the Most High was my cover.
That's right.
My husband is dead. So I'm not married to no one. But that's what they was pulling on them. And
Scare tactics.
Exactly. That's
Negroes
what
want to
it
be
was.
Tracy Morgan. Scare tactics. Remember the show he was doing?
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, scare tactics. They set you up.
I remember that whole thing.
I know you do, sister. Hell, we remember it. Y'all, look, it ain't like we ain't never been young before, but what we're talking about, you cannot make illegal legal. I don't care what words you change. I don't care how you twist it. If becomes a must, shame on you and the way you're teaching it. Shame on you. Then we got to go with somebody say, if your aunt had tested, she your uncle. You can't just call her your uncle and ain't checked in her shorts. Can you?
No.
Breaking it down.
Let's get some more, y'all. Finish that up, bro.
Yah forbid.
Yeah.
That's the end of 15.
Okay.
Verse 16. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body?
It's one what?
One body?
See, it still counts as you're making it one body. It's just if it's legal or is it illegal. What side of the fence you want to be on? Go ahead.
For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Most High is one spirit. Flee fornication.
Do what?
Flee fornication.
How do you do that? Now, everybody say you can flee Babylon. This is the one I'm waiting on right here. Where do you run to run out of this one? Where you run to, Elijah? How do you flee this one? This is what I'm talking about. Because if you answer it spiritually and say you got to do it up here, then you can do the same thing with Babylon. You can flee Babylon up here. But this ain't flee too, don't it? It said flee sinful behavior. Well, how about you saying flee Babylon? You're saying that's sinful behavior. You can run over here to a safe zone. Where is a safe zone free of fornication on planet Earth? That's what I'm asking. And how much is the ticket? Let's get some more.
Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
Y'all see that? Every sin a man doeth is without the body because it's flesh. And once you start making flesh for the outside of the body, you cannot get in the kingdom, because flesh and blood can't inherit what?
The kingdom.
Flesh and spirit can. Because he said, can a spirit eat? Give me that bread. Stick your hand right here. And look, the first thing, he walked through the door. That's the first thing before he asked for food. He walked through the door. And if y'all think I'm a ghost, come here, Doubting Thomas. Put your hand right here. Put your hand right here, dig in that hole right there. Dig in that hole, dig in that. And Thomas' hand came through the other side. Like this. Next thing he hollered, "Rap on me!" No. If you let somebody make a if become a must in your life, you have allowed them to judge you and switch your consciousness. Not once have I said it's illegal for a man to have another wife. Did I say that? No. I said, but you ain't gonna bring no words in here and change the whole law and then replace if with must and with antagonizations and belittling and lower self-esteemisms. Is that a word?
No, it isn't.
It ain't was it good though? Okay, yeah. Yes, sir. Let's read some more, brother.
Continuation of 18. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
Y'all seeing that? Y'all see how this moves this to a felony? Yes. It's felony. That's what it's saying, because you're going to kill yourself. It starts with the body. You think that toenail, that fungus on that toenail ain't gonna eventually get in your bloodstream and get up here and you become delusional? Let's get some more.
Verse 19. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of Yah? And ye are not your own.
And ye are not your own. This body don't belong to us. The woman's body is not hers, but the man. The man's body is not his, but the who? Where do you think this comes from? We read it. Let's read some more.
Verse 20.
What does it say?
For ye are bought with a price.
Redeemed. We've been redeemed from our transgression.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Therefore, glorify Yah in your body and in your spirit, which are Yah.
See, you can't glorify yourself calling somebody else who redeemed you from the wages of sin if you keep the commandment. How you gonna call another Negro that's in that same line the general or most holy, or that show on Ruthless the lowest? Oh, he is the lowest. Yeah, he is the lowest. That's right. With some of the activity he was doing in that show. But you twist your mind to do that, you're bringing poison in your body. It slowly is going to kill you. It's going to infect your bloodstream with leavening and poison of respective persons. You finished that? Yes, ma'am.
So would you say verse 18, would you say committed suicide? He's committing spiritual suicide. When you look at verse
when you're saying, because it's saying the Holy Spirit can't live with you. So if you just in this Bible and it's like when he talked about Romans 9, he said, you can't call Christ accursed and expect the Holy Spirit to show up. It's impossible. It's not going to show up. No more than you can practice a deal. Because you know what? Because we can't control the Holy Spirit. It ain't a man in this Bible that knew he had it while he was walking. And there's not a man in this Bible that told it to leave under his own recourse. Samson knew the Lord was with him when he rent that lion's jaw. He twisted his jawbone the opposite way, like this, crack. And then when David hit that bear with a left hook and it took off running, David then said, the Spirit is upon me. Samson said, the Spirit is upon me. But he got to the point that where he started breaking laws, he thought it was going to always be there. Samson, the Philistines on him. He jumped up and tore stuff loose. He hadn't crossed the proverbial line of disobedience yet. And then when she said, where your other strength left? Can't have my hair cut. Didn't tell her because he was a Nazarite from birth. Just told her that's where my strength lies. Your strength don't lie in your hair. Negroes now thinking they locks is where their strength come from. Take my hair down, baby. I'm gonna whoop his ass. I got take it down for me. Take it down. He got it tired. Take it down. About to be some ass whooping out here today. My strength is in my hair. No, your strength ain't in your hair.
No.
So in like manner, we cannot give anything that the power of God. So once she said the Philistines on Samson, and he tried to do this, and them ropes used to break, the strong ropes that hold bridges together back then. He knew then the Lord done left me. And guess what? On his dying bed, he said, give me strength just one more time. And then his hair started growing back to let him know this ain't your strength or you'd have been pushed him down if it was about your hair. Because all they had to do was grow back, right? But he said, because you trusted in that hair and said it like that, you got to die with this. He's like, Lord, it's your word. I can leave here as long as I leave here finishing the job you started me off to do. That's why I say Samson killed more Philistines and all of them he did at that one event than he did his whole life. But he had to die with it. But he didn't know the Holy Spirit had came back on him. He knew it when the timber started shaking. He's like, oh, he died. He done sent it back to me. But no man walks around and I know I got the Spirit. I'm talking about the gift of it, to where you can command the gift or you can command it on you because you're going to use it for wrong. Jacob Israel just already told us, he give it to me. I'm splitting all these Negroes' head down the middle like butter top loaf wheat bread. Right through the middle with a boulder like boom. But you cannot have it and have it in your mind because that's what you would do. Exactly. If you hate the police because he pulled you over with bad stickers and you out in Creve car leaking oil and smoking like the bug truck, 3 hubcaps missing, and then you gonna call on the Holy Spirit because he pulled you over? You cannot have it for those reasons. Because you'll use it as a weapon. Right. Just like if he'd gave it to Peter with that sword in his hand. He'd have cut her ear off and he cutting off prophecy. Negro, you using this skill and you finna cut off prophecy? Don't you know if they attack you, you got to deny me 3 times. What you doing, Peter? Put that sword back up. And then he just put the ear back on, didn't he? Let us keep moving toward prophecy, because I did not come to destroy the law or the what? Yeah, that's what we talking about. Where we at?
That's it on that.
Let's get Hosea chapter 1. Anybody say anything out there too bad?
No, sir. So far, so good. They enjoying the lesson.
Yes, sir. So, y'all, once we understand fornication means you cannot bring anything on that list that we read in 1 Corinthians. Know ye not that this can't inherit the kingdom of Yah? No fornicator, no adulterer, no bestiality, none of this. No, if it goes down the list and tells you underneath the banner of fornication the many variations of illegal sexual intercourse. You cannot come into this kingdom with that on your mindset. So this is what I want to tell you. This is why the law trumps word etymology. When people chase that where Nathan told David, the Lord gave you all of Israel. And he gave you your master's wife. If you don't think of the law first and you're only thinking of swiveling your hips, well, your master wives, that was your mother-in-law. You're married to the daughter. Are you telling me the Lord gave you a sin? He's going to tempt you with evil. That comes with the kingship. You get to have your way with the prior king's wife. That's if your mind is thinking always that way. Or are you a king in charge? King David, I gave you planet Earth. That's what I gave you. I gave you Israel and Judah. You know what's a part of Israel and Judah? Virgins and everything too, ain't it? Why don't they look at that scripture? They only look at the part of multiple wives. But it never said that. I gave you your master's house. You're in charge of Saul's wife. She's a widow. Widows are included in the household of the assembly. We got to take care of you if something happened to Mister. We've been watching out for Sister Deborah since Barabbas moved on. That's our responsibility about our widow elders up in here. They have to be accounted for in the house. That comes with the king territory. You got to look out for her. What are you going to do with her? You best to get out there and get you a covering. Look now. Right. I know you can't walk with that walker and you own 10 medicines, but you need a covering. There's some brothers out here change you.
Boy, mama might cuss you out after that.
I like it when you roll with that walker.
Yeah. But look, you have to put it in the mindset so that they understand what came with the territory. That's why 110:5 say, he that don't take care of his whole house is worth an infidel. That includes your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, that includes your parent, that includes your sister if she become a widow. If her husband died in the war, she only 21 and he died at 22 over in Vietnam, she's a widow and must come back to your house if you in charge of that. That's what it means. It's including the whole house. But when you only see I gave you your master's wives, you know what's on the mindset. It don't see the responsibility of the nation. That's why you may see with 5 or 6 women and only got 1 baby. What they building? What they building? Let's get some more. What you say, nothing? Nah. Where we at? Hosea chapter 1.
Hosea 1. Is it on me?
Yes, sir.
Book of Hosea chapter 1, verse 1.
Look, all of us, Zeb say back in my day, Zeb, you still don't want to be called that, do you?
Huh?
Well, come on, when you run the streets, you don't want that just so when somebody greets you, that's the first thing they greet you with. Player, player!
From the Himalayas.
From the Himalayas. Yeah, hold it down, man, hold it down. Got my woman's with me. No, you don't want it so in like manner. We don't want to do it to a woman, you know, under those circumstances. But we have to lay it straight on the line because you're going to end up calling it what it is anyway. It's why people always say about time when they've been staying together for 15 years. It's not something that's promoted if they're together after 15 years, you just say about time. It's the mindset that you're saying because it's programmed in you already for a man to leave his father and his mother. But he cannot leave them until he puts his title on whoever he was. If not, he still belongs to his mother and his father if he got another woman. That law only applies to a man leaving the house to get a wife. You're not ordered to have a wife. You can be spiritual and multiply. Men make themselves eunuchs for the what? Kingdom of heaven. So it's not saying you must have a physical woman. If it's saying that to a man, he must not have one, how you gonna make him have 2 or he ain't about this life?
Then can't even take care of it.
And then can't take care of it. It ain't in the scriptures.
You just bring in a brood of bastardized children.
Where we at?
Hosea chapter 1, verse 1.
What it say?
the word of the Most High that came unto Hosea, the son of Beariah, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Josiah, king of Israel.
So right here, before we even start the exact law, he gave us a line to tell us what time period we are in when the prophecy went down to pass, right?
Yes, sir.
So we can't mix this up if it's a dual prophecy unless you line it up correctly, how it's supposed to go down in the future. Like Joel 2 talk about in the latter days your son and daughter's going to prophesy. Acts 1 and 2 pick that up. But it's still remaining left over for us because we still have to prophesy and we still have to speak with tongues. We still have to do what was ordered on the day of Pentecost. That's still coming because it's in the last days. Last days, who know how long they run? Because this was 2,000 years ago, so how long is the last days? It says days. A day to the Lord is what? So with an S on the back, how are we going to cut it short? The S means it may be more than 1,000, don't it? Let's get some more. What you got, sis? What you going to say, Okay, all right.
Verse 2, the beginning of the word of the Most High by Hosea. And the Most High said to Hosea, go, take unto thee a wife of whoredom.
See, notice what he always said. What title did he use? Wife. When he said go take a what?
A wife.
He said have a marriage ceremony. And marriage ceremony come with public acknowledgement before the private acknowledgement. If they switch up, that don't mean you can get rid of that, does it?
Nope.
Cause you can ride with tip stickers and keep getting the date changed on them, but you ain't getting no plates until you do what? Pay them taxes.
Go see the peoples.
Let's get some more.
Verse 2, the beginning of the word of the Most High by Hosea. And the Most High said to Hosea, go take unto thee a wife of whoredoms, and children of whoredoms.
And children of what?
Whoredoms. For the land hath committed great whoredom, departing from the Most High.
So there's no need to get into an argument about is our God dealing with us and he's contradicting himself. Right there, see right there. That's why I don't believe the Bible. Right there, who gonna tell a man to marry a hoe? Who gonna tell her that? What kind of God is that? But if you just keep reading, it says so you can show the abominations. But we're gonna get even a little deeper to show you that abomination can be turned around before you die. Because the end of a man is better than the beginning. That's what the script says.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He that been righteous his whole life, Ezekiel 18, and turned wicked, none of his what shall be remembered. None of it shall be remembered. What we gonna talk about it for? Who been talking about O.J. Simpson ran 2,003 yards, the first man to run over 2,000 yards on a football field, and did it with 12 games, not 16.
Right.
But do we mention that?
Don't talk about it since the birth.
You know what we talk about? We talk about how he walked, like he wiping blood off his shoes.
Wow.
You don't remember the Hertz commercials?
No. Yes, sir. We remember. We old enough. White women cheering him on.
Only brother to go run through an airport without being followed by 5-0.
By 5-0. Running through the airport? And 5-0 ain't behind you?
Right.
He was trustworthy then.
Yes, he was. Jumping over the luggage.
Let's see if he can run through anything now.
Boy.
You can't book OJ nowhere.
Let's get it, y'all.
Verse 3.
What it say?
So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, which conceived and bare him a son.
So that we don't get it mixed up, and nobody get it mixed up, it tells you exactly, because there was a bunch of Gomers around at that time. And the Hebrew names are common. So it had to tell you it was the daughter of this guy. So we don't get it misunderstood. Let's get some more.
Verse 4. And the Most High said unto him, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel.
So we got some wars going on.
Yes, sir.
The house of Jehu, wasn't Jehu the one that threw Jezebel out the window?
Yep.
That's right. Well, he didn't throw out the window, he instructed.
He asked, instructed them to think.
toss her down. And then his horses stomped on her.
She still was thrown out.
She was still thrown out at his command.
And the horses stomped on the residue of her.
Ooh, boy.
And the dogs came and ate her.
Licked
All
it.
was left was her head and
Yeah.
hands.
And just, you know how a dog come by just when it's raining on top of you and they froze your bank account, then the dog lift his leg and pee on your leg while it's raining. You just do like this, dear. Let's get some more.
Verse 5. And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow
The bow.
of Israel in the valley of Jezreel.
It's the bow of Israel, y'all, so let's get on point. We be worried about what he gonna do to other nations. Judgment start first where?
At the house of Israel.
Let's get some more.
And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And Yahweh said unto him, call her name Lahuramah. For I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Most High their Elohim, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen.
So get your 9mm out of your mind.
That's right.
It ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. You can gather all the weapons you want. They'll send a drone by here 2,000 feet in the air and pinpoint you, finna slam the big 6 on the table. And send a missile there and blow that table up right at the time you hit it. And folks will still be talking about that when he slammed the big 6, blew the whole table up. No. Wasn't that at all. It was them white folks. And burn up all your ammunition. Look, all they have to do is wait till January the 1st and attack.
Yep.
That's the only time you Negroes get to practice and shoot your weapons freely and wildly in your neighborhood. The average dope dealer ain't shooting he ain't going out to the range. You gotta show ID. You don't know if somebody called, did you see what them niggas got? And the popos out there.
They work there.
They definitely
Looking.
Yo, we got to think up here.
straight up.
Every action there is a what?
Reaction. Opposite reaction.
Let's get some more. What you got said?
There's a movie called Angel Has Fallen.
Uh-huh.
And when the president was out on that boat and
Oh, saw that.
it looked like a bunch
Boy, did y'all see that?
and they were actually drones.
They were drones.
They let them out, boy, man. Them bad boys took out everything.
Now, what was they shooting? Now, you can't even buy what they were shooting back at them drones.
It was identifying you before it blew you up.
And look, you don't know how to shoot like this. You training to shoot like this. Pat, 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 pat.
Is that how your gun sound?
That ain't mine. I don't shoot like that. I said how they shoot. No, mine don't shoot like that.
So you ain't holding that.
No, not like that.
That one shot revolver from what's that?
I'm only looking to get off one pack. That's all I want is one pack. Pat. I want to be like Eddie Murphy. Pat, pat, pat. That's it. In Harlem Nights. That's what I'm looking for. Let's get it, y'all.
Yeah, my brother.
Right.
Verse 7. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah.
Right.
And will save them by the Elohim. And will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. Now when she had weaned Lahuramah, she conceived and bare a son.
So right here she go. It's a process. She got 3 children now, but notice where it says after she had weaned him, then you conceive again. This baby's off the titty. You can't be walking with 2 babies like this. I'll save some. Yo, greedy ass. Go ahead, Junior. Go ahead. And then look, the daddy over there mad cause he ain't had no enjoyment. He over there with his lip thing. So sick of them damn chillin'. Yeah. So you see, The one was weaned before she conceived again. You understand what I'm saying?
Time and place, man.
Time and place. Can't keep just popping them out. Let's get some more.
Verse 9.
What it say?
Then said Yahweh, call his name Lo-Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your Elohim. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living Elohim.
So he said, don't take this to mean I'm casting y'all off forever. See, because Christian churches and different things will grab this script and say, right there, got rid of y'all. The same way they'll do Romans when he talk about Israel, you know, where they say he's cast them away, has God cast away his people. They don't keep reading in the very next verse that says God forbid. See, that's the very next verse that says, so that gets it out of your mind. Just like he just got this out of our mind, that he casting us out, because he said, but in the end, guess what? People gonna say y'all the children of the living God. Right now, that behavior y'all doing, that whoremongering you doing, you dogs, you temple prostitute, that's what you are, Israel. You're temple prostitutes. Come up in here stinking, smelling like another God and finna offer a sacrifice at the altar. Most I can smell it on you. That God you with don't even allow you to, what is that just? You know what it is, you just throw the rag in the sink when you're done and head out the door. That type of God. Our law say wash your body with water. You can't monkey bath through a marriage. Hey, real talk, y'all, right? Let's get some more. Where we at?
Yeah, that's real talk.
Go ahead, bro. Excuse me.
Verse 10. Verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
See, so it's telling you by that verse he's not wiping us out. But yet, the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. So it's telling you it's not a permanent cutoff. The number that he promised to Abraham must go forth. Let's read some more.
Leviticus 26:44.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, that it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living Elohim. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Now, you got all these camps grab this scripture, and this is where the Brunity doctrine starts.
Well, what doctrine?
Brunity of we can mix, as long as you know you Israel, we don't care what doctrine you bring forth. And notice what that doctrine teaches. See, we got the remnant of Israel that keep the commandments and not taking the mark of the beast. The rest of Israel were cast in the lake of fire, right? Before the other nations. So now you got this Brunity doctrine that they grab this doctrine and say this starts, this what we're supposed to do. Gather the heads of the camps together and come together. But this said in that day they got to be free of verse 1, what we just talked about. Your whoremongering. How you gonna brunity up with groups that teach you can have a woman or rape a girl at 12 years old? That's the same verse 1, ain't it? Yeah. How you gonna redo that? You think what is he cleaning up then? You think you can just go in here and make babies for the state, and this what this talking about, gather yourselves together to do that? Get the heads together to bring in more wickedness. Y'all, it ain't gonna work when you try to build the kingdom on earth. It says, I saw New Jerusalem descending. Coming down, prepared. It's a prepared place for a prepared people of righteousness, not unrighteousness. Just like you see in that Ruthless, this other show, that old Daikon, the boy Jacob called Iguana Man. Say his eyes so far on the edges over here, he can see all over there who messing around. Now he's sneaking in and put his hand through the window of that trailer. They got women on this side, married women, and they got all the men over here. But yet he's the leader, sneaking in there and put his hand through the window betwixt her legs.
Oh, you talking about on that show?
Ruthless. Showing you can't separate fornication. You can't flee fornication. You can put them in trail, you can put it over there, but what's up in here when that hand be doing like this and it says, I must do a bill, I must do, it's feeling Donald Trumpish. I must grab.
But look at how he got done. As soon as he got through, he sees some more feet prints.
Right, he looking at, now he looking at the other, now he mad.
Right.
He like, oh, somebody done beat me to the Donald Trumpish.
Man.
And this supposed to be their paradise. Every other man that's lower walk with his hands behind his back. I mean, in the front, humble. He's proud, he's arrogant. He only walks with his hands in back of him. Notice the difference, y'all. They showing the camp mentality. And ain't nobody just made that up. They sit down with Ruth, whoever the true Ruth is, and they writing everything down. We're going to make a movie out of this. Damn, they ain't going to believe it. Got Israelites saying, I don't want to watch it. Well, don't read Hosea. Don't read Ezekiel 16. Don't read nothing about it, because what they showing can't compare to what we was doing in Ezekiel 16. Say we was chasing the Egyptians because we heard they were men of flesh. What y'all think that means? He had big feet. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's read some more, y'all. Come on. Look, I didn't write it. Let's get some more.
Chapter 2?
Yeah.
Hosea chapter 2, verse 1.
What it say?
Say ye unto your brethren, Amid, and to your sisters, Ruhamah, plead with your mother, plead, for she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts.
See, so that kills any prospect of you can marry a hoe. See, and I don't, y'all forgive me, I'm sorry, G-Baby right there. Let me change the lane. Anytime you can just say a man can go to a garden tool anytime he get ready. A loose one, yeah. So, just from that perspective, they'll use certain verses like this because they cherry picking you. Right there, dog, need we go further. Now, let's get the Hebrew word for this word. And the law is gone. The law is gone, but we see he's starting off. You got to clean up your ways. You cannot work back at Magic City. That's off your list of employment opportunities. You have to go and get a job somewhere else, or you have to stay in the house. Your job will be to take care of home, raise the children, whatever it be. But you cannot go back and make money like that.
You gotta repent.
Because it's gonna create a problem for me. Y'all think about that.
Bad name.
That's why I tell you got to be careful not to marry a singer. Do you know a singer? She's every man's desire.
Right.
What I heard, most of y'all youngsters around here had a picture of a singer on your wall. I didn't. Just see if y'all still awake. Let's read on. Just see if y'all still awake. What you got, bro?
All right. In the Bible, we're talking about concubines. How many women do we call that?
If you're going to get married, start off with one. If you can afford two.
But there's laws that apply to having more than one wife.
Yo, and I want y'all to understand what he just asked. How many am I supposed to have? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all hear how the question was asked in the Bible? How many am I supposed to have? If you're going to have, it says start off with one. And that first one is spiritual. You got to get married to Messiah first. That's your first marriage. You got to be married to the Messiah, Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach in the Hebrew tongue. You must be married to him spiritually first before you can bring another woman into this cup, into this doctrine. Because she has to look to him when you die. Who else she gonna be married to at that point? See, that's where it comes into what's called a Godhead marriage.
And if you walking like him and acting like him, how many you smoking?
Right. So That's what we're talking about, bro. But nowhere in the scripture it says you must have more than one. The scriptures say these are the rules for a wife. How many men and women get off the ark? 8? That's 4 men and 4 women, right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody on planet Earth came from them.
Yes, sir.
So when you talk about what you must have, you think it would have been 7 women for every man like it was the 7 clean animals and 2 of the unclean, right? So that would at least been on the ark if that was mandatory.
Right.
But the Most High say I can make people out of stones. What you niggas talking about?
That would increase the width.
Who needs your work on the other side of midnight and you didn't even last 2 minutes then? Let's get some more, y'all.
You and
That's you, Les.
I was lost into something. What do you have, T-Bro?
Hosea chapter 2.
Hosea chapter 2. Verse 3. Verse 3. Lest I strip her naked.
Lest I do what?
Strip her naked. And set her as in the day that she was born. And make her as a wilderness. And set her like a dry land. And slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children. For they be the children of whoredom. For their mother hath played the harlot.
I've done what?
Played the harlot.
Y'all hear how he keeps using the language? There's a difference of playing the harlot or being tricked to be a harlot. And y'all have to understand when we come up, we used to hear the big boys or the big dudes we used to say they were the first ones to do this to break her hymen. This was a badge of honor for the youngster. Didn't know what they was talking about because they had their face tore up, boy, like it was pecan pie. And you like, what is it when that happened, when that time comes?
Man.
But you knew it was something that wasn't supposed to be happening out front because they were whispering it.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna finish 5.
Okay.
For their mother hath played the harlot.
Right.
She that conceived them hath done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers. They give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drink.
See, and that's playing the harlot now. See, you got a harlot, she may have got tricked, or, you know, she really thought you was gonna be her husband, or she just, like a young teenage girl or some got inquisitive, and you know, listen to Betty Wright's song one too many times. I'm nervous and I'm trembling. Waiting on you to get here. That may have been the case. And the title came with that for one day, and like her grandmama said, I know damn well you ain't gonna sing them words when you listen to the song. Yeah. That's the grandmama saying that. I know you ain't gonna sing You Hot like that, is you? You on fire like that, helper? Yeah. I know you ain't gonna sing that song. Well, we just eased it right on by. You know what it says.
And if Granny found out she done something outside of law, then grandmama would apply that title to her.
Yeah.
You gonna play a harlot in my house?
Yeah, she sure gonna tell you.
Ain't.
No, you ain't.
Like on Boys in the Hood.
Boy!
Yeah. Grandma said.
And don't drink your juice in the hood.
She ran off there.
Boy. Look! Because the wedding became public through drama. Y'all understand that? The wedding chambers was interrupted.
Grandma gonna make you say I do.
Grandma knew what time it was.
Boy, grandmama, boy, then look. But we had to get past that one because grandma was crazier than she was. Go ahead. Go ahead, y'all.
Wait, baby. Let grandmama have it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the original movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. You talking about old Trey. Yeah, when he was lying. Go ahead, bro.
Man, where am I? Verse 6. Wherefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns, and make a wall, that she shall not find her path, and she shall follow after her lover.
What should she follow after?
Her lover.
See, that's a harlot has become a full-fledged garden tool now. So what she's doing, she's making a living. He pays for my light bill, he pays my gas bill, and he's gonna give me some new furniture.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
See, so now it becomes that's what's become a practicing. So now the title that's on you're making what a bad situation work for you now.
Right.
But it brings a lot of drama with it. Because men get jealous.
That's right.
Yeah, oh,
Now he overhears and his wife at home, but he fussing at you because it's some shoes under the bed bigger than his. Now he got on his Timberlands and he put his foot inside them shoes.
With his Timberlands on.
With his Timberlands on. Now he mad and ready to fight.
He's definitely in his field.
See, but he have to accept that. So that's what it means. Don't bring that to the family. If you acknowledge that she's in a threesome, and that's what you're acknowledging, just because he don't come over there on Thursday, when you do, you still know he's there on Tuesday.
Right.
Then when she say, I think I'm pregnant, what's the first words out of all of her mouth? Maury, you right, Maury Povich, yeah. How I know it's mine.
You are not the father.
You right.
Then it don't be neither one of them.
Right, don't be none of that.
Don't be none of it. This is your 25th.
It's your time, you're right. Boy,
To be the cat that just dropped in.
yo, and
In
we
town
had,
for a night.
and ain't nothing new under the sun. We had Maury Povich back in the day. It was Numbers 5th chapter. If a man had, it was called a jealousy law. If he could bring up an evil name against his woman, saying she wasn't, they saying what I married, just like you want to take something back, you got the receipt, you can take it back. See, and this is what we talk about, it was always paperwork. If you say this is a virgin, and then I'm looking at this a different color on the, you give that sheet to her father, that's the receipt of what I purchased. It's always paperwork. That's what it was. Here, her daddy bring, oh hell no, I heard about Playboy Ricky. No, here's the sheet. And judges knew how to look and could tell the difference from one or the other. And they can look at them and tell the color of them and say, you're a liar. You're going to bring up a bad name on this woman in Israel, for one, because she laughed at me. I'm trying to explain it's just swimming pool shrinking, but the way she was laughing, so I'm going to bring up a bad name on her. See, so it was laws to prevent an individual from think he gonna manipulate the mind and manipulate the law.
Right.
And they had what they call truth serum. They would give you this liquid to drink and just sit back and watch. If he started gyrating and itching and scratching, or her thyroid and she started scratching, she said, both y'all some liars.
Now it's just some alcohol. Just drink these spirits and
Or you get that.
Where does the truth come out?
Right, or you get that Negro that's in Ruthless that like to smell around them areas. And said he was a professional at doing it.
You know I can tell.
You know I can tell.
Let's see.
That's a shame.
Let's get some more, y'all.
That's worse than shame, bro. Verse 7.
What it say?
And she follow after her lover. But she shall not overtake them, and she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now.
See, that's why the Messiah got to be your first husband, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew over there. Bro, right there, yeah. Just tell, that's why it said, because once you get through having your fun, you're going to want to come back to the Lord. I want to come back to my first husband, my true husband, the wife of my youth. Now I'm ready to come back. I done had fun over there. They done used me and abused me. And I want to come back because I know he'll take me back.
Right.
But you can't play the Lord like no trick husband you've been on. You ain't be able to trick him. That's why when the Pharisee said he knew what type of woman that was around him, he wouldn't have her around. Messiah said, I know exactly what type of woman she is. Does a well man need a doctor? And I'm not Dr. Feel Good. I'm Dr. Life Evermore.
Come on.
Don't get it twisted. She could be naked and it don't mean nothing to me because I was in on the creation of a woman. Right. And it didn't do nothing to me then. You Negroes crazy. You think I'm like y'all? The Pharisees? You think I'm like y'all? I can't be around a woman because her profession used to be this. That don't mean nothing to me. You can be the same way and be scratch free. But you choose not to.
Scratch free.
Yeah, let's get some more.
Joseph did it.
Joseph did it, didn't he? And had a sword put to his neck. Was given roots.
Yeah, right.
Everything.
Shalom, y'all.
Shalom, bro. Be careful out there, boy.
I got this food in the car. I went over to the Urban League thing.
Did you?
It's still in the car.
We'll get it on there because it's hot. It's hot. You eat some hot tuna, boy, you won't think you got Wuhan.
Last time we leave.
Shalom, bro.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for battle.
See, she didn't have a clue that I gave her all them things and y'all went and did that and you prepared it for another God. Like a woman go spend all of her husband's money on another woman. Wait a minute. Junior been wearing the same shoes. Them toddler shoes, we just cut the toe out and told people they were sandals. He been wearing them first walker shoes since kindergarten. And you go buy this heifer son some Jordans and he ain't even your child? Negro, what is wrong with you? And that's the equivalent of it.
Right.
Mind of flesh.
You take things for granted. You're going to take what I give you and give it to somebody else and expect the glory and then come back to me when you all used up. Let's read some more.
Verse 9. Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax, given to cover her nakedness. And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, her Sabbaths, and all her solemn feasts. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she hath said, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me. And I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. And I will visit upon her the days of Baal, wherein she burned incense to them. And she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels. And she went after her lovers and forgat me, saith the Most High. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably to her. And I will give her her vineyards from thence in the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there, as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be at that day, saith the Most High, that thou shalt call me Ishi,
right?
And shall call me no more Baali, meaning husband and master.
See, now you got a group out here, little Dickie Shepherd and them, take this very scripture and say that's why we shouldn't say Yahweh, because it really means Baali. You're calling on the Lord. You're calling the Lord Baal. Yahweh is the devil's name. This what this Negro teaching.
Yeah,
you know why? Because he's been over in England in the witchcraft capital reading out of them grimoires and that Talmud. What does it say, Elijah?
No more shall they call me Ishi. They shall call me Ishi, and shall no more call me Baali.
See, the only problem with that and putting all these laws on that, then there must be written the name of the Lord and how to pronounce it correctly so that you don't fall into sin. What that's going to do about people that live in Mississippi? You should say it like this. Yahweh. And they from Mississippi. I'm talking about deep parts of Mississippi where they still walking barefooted. Hey, hey. No, try it again. Look, if you don't get it right, you going to hell.
But these names are only titles.
But see, they're only titles.
Because Baali means master.
Right.
Ishi means husband. Because he says the marriage supper shall come and he shall be married back unto the house of Israel, and therefore we shall be referring to him as the husband and no longer the master.
Y'all see what we're talking about now? It's
For
amazing.
he shall be the husband at home now.
Instead of you calling somebody else outside the house my husband.
He ain't leaving the house no more because he said, I shall be their God and they shall be my people, and he shall dwell amongst his people.
And that's all y'all basing scripture on. Holy name rollers, y'all, they call it. If you don't say the name like this, you don't know God. That ain't in the Bible. Because it ain't a law that say that. And if we're sinning doing that, then it should be somewhere in there say, and if thou call him by any other name, other than a higher, thou shalt face grave punishments. Where y'all reading that at? We keep reading in here from Genesis to Revelation. You don't keep my commandments, off with your head. He that love me do what?
Keep my commandments.
I ain't read nothing about, it's a commandment in here that say you must say the name like this. Because in the very verse of Exodus that they use, his name is mentioned to call him 3 different ways. I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am. You can't just take that one because you can translate that in Hebrew to mean a higher. Well, what about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? It's just saying, how about we just say the God of Abraham?
Right.
Jacob's Lord. How about we say that?
What about jealous God?
How about jealous God?
What about the Lord is here?
Which one we gonna put above the other? For righteousness' sake, and say you on point now, and yet you still got your hand in that trail of window. But you saying the name. Like a Negro wearing fringes and breaking all the laws.
Every last one of them. Break one, you break
You gotta own your fringes. And you emptying a dump truck.
And ain't wash your hands.
Ain't wash your hands, ain't did nothing. But yet you're pointing it like this, y'all. The clothing ain't bigger than the man. He already said that, didn't he? Said you bigger than animals. Why you gonna put an animal in front of you? He said, ain't you worth more than a sparrow?
That's right.
And he feed
That's
them all.
right.
Let's get some more, y'all. Finish this up.
Excuse me, Brother Dan.
Yes, sir.
Not taking the brother being rude. Just want to acknowledge that we had company, that the Most High provided an increase through the brother and the 2 sons over
Yes,
there.
sir.
What's your name, brother? Brother
Well, it's
James.
good to have y'all fellowship with us, bro. We're gonna hit it hard and clean with no caffeine.
And I told him, that he asked a question, and I told him that you have a question, ask what's on your heart, man. You can hand to get the, brother's attention to ask a question decent and in order.
That's right. What we're talking about is we'll answer it according to the scripture. We ain't gonna give you no opinion. We're gonna take you to the law of the Bible.
Where it is written.
See, you can argue about a stop sign. You can argue it was a rolling stop. But if you don't stop, you still get the ticket, ain't you? You can argue rolling. I rolled through there after 3 seconds. I counted, Your Honor. Tell me how you counted. 1, 2, 3. Too fast. You got to be 1001, 1002, 1003. Then you can roll through. Not 1, 2, 3. That means you're not understanding the law of a stop sign. You understand what I'm saying? See, it'd be hard to explain why you sitting there too and talking about I ain't intoxicated and you waiting on the stop sign to turn green. It ain't gonna happen. You high as hell. You going to jail. Simple as that. Let's get some more, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 17.
What it say?
For I will take away the names of Baal
Right,
out of her mouth,
right.
and they shall no more be remembered by their names. And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven.
See, now we'll get a covenant with the beasts of the field and the fowl of heaven. This is Isaiah 65:20 on down. The word he says the lamb, where the lamb and the lion shall lay down together and eat straw like the bullock. Then will I do that, but it ain't happening before then, is it?
No, sir.
Let's get some more, Elijah. Finish this off.
Question, Dan.
Who got questions? Slow on, brother.
All right. Okay, you going with the Bible, right? How I know this is true when they enslaved us. They brought us from another country, they brought us over and then gave us the Bible. Everything is trickery in the world. They've been tricking me forever.
Well,
trickery.
yeah, that's the common knowledge of somebody that wants to turn you from the commandments of God that use them themselves. Like you heard Farrakhan say that. Don't take nothing our oppressor give you, but yet, have you ever heard a Muslim quote the Quran, or do you hear him quote the Bible? Which one do you hear? When you saw Malcolm, he said, it said written in your Bible. Was Jesus a Hebrew, or was he talking about Muhammad? When you hear Farrakhan, what does he talk about? Does he talk about the Bible, or does he talk about the Quran? See, this is what I'm talking about. You can't cut down what you need to prove yourself. Basically, everybody say the Bible tampered with. We just asked you one question, chapter and verse, where it's tampered with. If you can't answer, you just heard that from somebody, and you trying to repeat it to me. See, but we done studied enough to know to ask you chapter and verse. And you ask me, how we know God wrote the Bible? How you know your name is what you know. Who wrote your birth certificate?
Can I read something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Out the book of Exodus chapter 31 verse 18.
What's it say?
And he gave unto Moses when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of Yahweh.
So he got 2 tables of stone written with God's hand, but you'll still say, how we know the white man didn't put that in there? Look, the white man is God. If he pull the prophecies that he's pulling right here, Ezra, give me Isaiah 40. You know what I'm talking about. And where the Most High in his book say, if you can prove what happened in the past, if you can prove what's happening today, and then if you can dictate what's finna, or prove what's gonna happen in the future, then you God. If the white man wrote this, he God. It's plain and simple because our history is in there. We the only people been on slave ships, took to another nation to use the symbol of an eagle. Do you know any other people within the holds of slave ships that went to a nation that used the symbol of an eagle? Do you know that? Next question is, do you know any group of people that their children were sold on auction blocks besides us? Do you know any other group of people?
So what do we do about it?
Keep reading the history because it's only a short punishment for our disobedience. We didn't want to do what we were supposed to do at home. We played a harlot. We was married to our God. We're in a marriage covenant. We're not in religions. Muslims are religion. Jehovah's Witnesses are religion. They're dictated by man who always need the Bible to help their religion out. The Bible don't mention the Quran. The Bible don't mention Buddhism. It don't mention Christianity. It mentions Christ followers, but not Christianity. That was invented in AD 332 or whatever. Christianity is not in the Bible. It don't tell you to worship Mary. It don't tell you to do Christmas. That can't be found in here. It don't tell you to do Easter. It's not in here.
None of those things.
So what we're talking about, who's lying? Is it the white man because he ain't lying on this? What white man gonna tell you your history from beginning to end? Then you're gonna be a byword and a proverb. Who the only people on planet Earth carry another man's last name? You. Africans don't carry no white man's name. They say, I'm Bubaba from Rhodesia, from Ghana, from Uruguay. If you was an African, they'd have been told you what part of Africa you come from. What part of Africa you come from?
I had a Nigerian woman.
Nigeria? Ain't no tracing of you back in Nigeria. What's your Nigerian name?
Hill Cuckoo.
Hill Google, what that mean?
Blowing wind.
What's your God name?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a problem.
Separated.
See, so now you're out in the wilderness.
And understand
Go ahead, brother.
Understand something. In slavery, during slavery, if the white man wrote the Bible, why did he forbid us to read it?
Right.
If that was his book, why would he forbid you to read it?
And kill you for reading.
Right.
It's something in that book that pertains to your
existence in your livelihood that he wants you to,
I said you can look at it that way, but
What other way is it to
What
look at?
other way can you look
You
at
don't
it?
know who your God is. Who you
Let me
gonna
ask you
call on?
this.
I'm
If
saying,
I want to hide something from you, I wouldn't reveal it to you, right? It become a secret. It's my secret, right? So I'm not going to turn over evidence to you to wake you up. Then I can no longer be in charge over you. I cannot be in charge over you if you know your history, you know your truth. I cannot rule over you, right? If you know who you are, you know you connected to your God and everything. Better example, if I came in your house, could I make up my rules in your house? Could I establish my rules in your house?
I'm gonna ask you another question.
No, I'm just letting you answer that.
No, I'm gonna ask you a question. Every time you get knowledge and then you try to spread it out to the people, the black man that does that get killed. Why is that?
well, ain't no black man getting killed that spread knowledge. Black men are getting killed because they belong to or part of an organization that's corrupt against this nation, ruling the world. It's plain and simple. They didn't kill Malcolm because he was quoting the Bible. They killed Malcolm because he was part of a doctrine that believed that the white man was the devil, and yet sucking off their titty.
And it went against the principles of white supremacy, the nation, the whole core of this nation's stability.
And look at what you're talking about. Who killed Malcolm? Did the white man or Elijah Muhammad kill Malcolm? Who killed Malcolm?
I believe the FBI.
You believe the FBI. We don't go by beliefs down here. You have to know what you're saying or you bear false witness. That's the house home. Yeah.
I stopped thinking. I got tired of it and got lazy.
Well, so we ain't gonna hold you. We're gonna move on. But if you continue on, bro, this is the world's history book, not just ours. It identifies. Yeah, give me that. This is what we do when people say how we know God wrote the Bible. It's a text. If you know anybody else that's been dictating the future, because all of the king Napoleon, they were mentioned before they were born. Now you can go get all the records of Napoleon on here. He was mentioned in the Bible before he was born. The Messiah was mentioned before he was born. It told us exactly the city and time he was going to be born. So we're asking if there's any other book on planet Earth that does that, then their God is God. And so far, you just told us you don't know who your God is, so you out of the contest right now.
I'm out of the gun.
You out because you don't know what will save you. You don't know where your supernatural power come from. All you know, you are Nigerian. That's what they told you. But on your birth certificate is what name? That's who you are because you were brought here as a slave and you take the name of your slave master. If you was a Nigerian, they would tell you that, but all your history goes back to the plantation. They never take you back past the plantation. You have, to them, you have no history past the plantation. This history says you go back to Northeast Africa, called Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
We are the Jews. We are not the niggas. We are the true Jews, the descendants of this Bible, and we're here serving a punishment because we want to serve other gods that we don't know, like what the statement you just made. That's why we're doing time here. We're brought to a land that's treating us like how we act. So when we get it right, when we go back home, we'll love our God like we're supposed to and quit whoring around on them, messing with the Muslims and the Jehovah's Witnesses. All those are religions. Religions because they're started by a man. This was not started by Jesus Christ. It was started by the Heavenly Father of the universe. Unless there's another universe maker out there, all we asking is what is his name. But hit that script for me. This is what we go to. What you got? Oh, Mike, I know Mike. Big Mike, you talking about?
He said give him his number.
Okay.
Because he got an issue on Thursday, he wanted to address it before he came up there. So,
Before he came up there.
Yes.
who is Mike?
Who was the niggas in the book of Acts chapter 13?
Who is Mike? Oh, Al, you don't hear?
No.
Okay. We'll take care of that. We'll take care of that later, man. Yeah, we'll take care of it later. We'll take Mike. Only Mike down here left already. Like.
Oh, okay.
Ain't no other mics down here, is it? Okay, well, only other mic left. We don't know what that issue was.
Alright, this Isaiah chapter 40.
And we're going to get back on point, y'all. We got to get back on this lesson because we ain't got about a half hour. But we'll answer any of y'all questions after class concerning this. And it's going to explain itself. It ain't going to be me. It ain't going to be him. It ain't going to be no private interpretation. This will interpret itself. Now, ain't no other book talking about a mark of the beast coming, is it? That everybody going to have a number on their hand. What other book talk about that? Does your God book talk about that? Does the Muslims talk about a mark of the beast that's coming that's going to cripple the economy like this one did?
I got so tired.
Let's get some more. Yeah, well, don't get tired of searching for knowledge because you ain't gonna never know who you are.
You want to hit this Isaiah? You want to try it?
And as a man thinketh, so is he. You can't think you ain't nothing.
Right.
You're the children of Israel. You cannot think you are nothing. If you don't know your God, you don't know you.
I'm trying to know God.
Well, you can't kick against the pricks then. You can't fight against the only thing that tells you who your God is and where you come from. No other book on earth does it. None. If it was, you've been already told us. Shalom, Mike, was they talking about you up there? The God? Okay, all right, never mind.
Let me hit this.
I'll let you, Mike. Go on, hit that, bro.
This is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 9.
What it say?
Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Let me hear one more.
Yeah.
It's Isaiah 40.
No, read on down 40. You on 44? What you on? I want you to read on down 42. 42 and 21?
Nah, that's why 41.
Hit that one then. Yeah, that's what I
Isaiah
want.
chapter 40, Isaiah chapter 41, verse 21.
Produce
your cause.
Do what?
Produce your cause.
Anybody saying they believe they're talking about God and who God is, the first thing the Bible says, produce your work. Put his work on the table. Then what it say they got to do?
Bring forth your strong reason.
Now bring forth your strong reasoning why we don't know who we are and why we got a white man's last name. Bring that reasoning forth and why everybody else get to keep their name and get to talk about their nation, but we don't.
Right.
So you got to produce the cause of that.
So what are we going to do?
I'm telling you what other doctrine puts you in that position to know who you are, to fight against that.
What are we going to do?
Read that Bible.
We're going to keep reading. They're going to tell you what to do. Yeah, we keep the commandments. Go ahead. Read some more, bro.
It says, let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us the things for to come. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are God.
That ye are who?
God. Yeah, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed, and behold it together. Behold, ye are of nothing, and your works are of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you.
So basically, it's an abomination to choose a God that can't do nothing for you and can't tell you who you are.
I already know that.
That's a problem, bro. So I'm telling you, the buck stops here, your problem stop here. Right. That's what we're trying to say to you. We're going to give you identity. It ain't the Nation of Islam, because it ain't no such thing. Muslims are Shiite and Sunni. The true Iran and Iraq, those are the true nation Muslim. Nation of Islam is an offshoot.
Islam ain't no nation.
It ain't no nation.
That's a religion.
That's a religion. So get out of that mindset, and he can't produce no future. You know what else he's saying in his talking and his writing? Farrakhan, give us 3 states out of America. Well, who's still running America? Who's still running? Even them 3 states. This tell us we're gonna come out of here like we came out of Egypt when we were slaves done for 400 years. Who the only other people done 400 years? We did it in Egypt, now we're doing it here for the same disobedience because we won't keep God's law.
So we have to go back home, is that what you said?
We're gonna go back home soon. We've already been here 400, but you can't go back and you don't know nothing.
That's right. I'm trying to know everything I can know.
Look, you gotta be careful because you go back and don't know nothing, you'll be a slave.
I ain't trying to be there.
I know. When we pick up that horse doodle over there, horse doodle man don't know who you are. Pick up all that over there. You got to know who you are because you got a mansion coming. And I'm not talking about no pipe dream. It's awarded to doing right. Whether you die now, but you're going to live again. There's still a resurrection. If you die tomorrow, you're going to face judgment day. There is no escape of judgment day. Everything you did in your body, every word you said is going to be played back for you like high definition, like a near-death experience. You know how people say, I died and my whole life flew before me?
Stop talking, nigga.
You scared? You scared? You got to go to church. Scared people at church. This the truth. This the law of God. Your God, you should fear him, not me.
But if you taught to be a certain way from your environment, do you get punished for that?
No.
Not if you repent and change your ways.
That's right.
Look, you said if you get charged and you ain't did nothing, you don't get punished for that. They may punish you for that, but it's going to be payback.
We were all a part of our environment.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, all right, in my beginning, I chased, I loved it. My mama told me God was good, so I wanted to know who God was. So I went to every place that was talking about God. And one that felt a little good, then I seen some stuff out of it, that ain't right. Then I felt that there was, but I came with some people who told me that God, he said, you know what, if James was not even in the house, and that was 20 years ago. I heard it, but I'm here now.
Did you ever go anywhere where they told you don't steal and tell you why it's not good to steal?
But what if you're hungry and you have to steal?
Well, the script say if you're hungry, you have to steal. Give me a little bit of that. What is that? Proverbs 30 and 20? It's for that if you're hungry and ain't got no money, but there's a price you must pay. Give me if a thief steals to satisfy his soul. What's that Proverb? Is it 30? Not 30, maybe 30 at the end. Proverbs 30 to the end. Or 20 and 6, one or the other. See, so that everything you say, we answer it with a script, not just made up about interpretation. So it answers every question. You got it? Give me Proverbs 30. It's either 20 and 6 or 30 at the end of Proverbs. Let me get it. 1 second, bro. $20 and 6, hold on. Y'all, then we got to move on. We got to finish this up. Quickly, all it says is, do not despise a thief that steals to satisfy his soul. That's what we want. Where we at? 30 and There's a way adulterous woman. Okay, 30.
Verse,
What is it?
be poor and steal.
No, that ain't what I want.
Oh, it's 6 and 30.
6 and 30. See, I had it backwards. 6 and 30. What 6 and 30 say?
It says, men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry.
See, the only time you technically can steal and get away with it is if you feel you finna die. You so hungry you finna die. It says we can't look at you looking at hungry bastard. We can't say that. We can't despise. Or to get a damn job somewhere. We cannot look at you to the point that if you stealing to satisfy your soul, I'ma die. I'ma die. So we can't look at you like that. What else to say, bro?
But if he be found.
But if he be what?
Found.
If we catch you stealing, go ahead.
He shall restore sevenfold.
See, it don't let you off the hook. When you get back on your feet, because this ain't no free program, if you stole one apple, when you get on your feet, you got to bring 7 apples back. So that we understand you're not playing the hungry man and I've been put out. See, you can work that game in every city, like they working the highway on 270 in West Florida. With them signs, we'll work for food. If you say get on the back of that truck, I got some leaves need raking. You think they gonna get on the back of that truck? No. Hell no, you know they ain't. That's what we talking about, bro. We're talking about proof, absolute proof. This is called truth. It don't need no support, and truth is absolute. It's 435. Where are you? In the basement of the Sirius building, right? Is that the truth or is that a lie?
That's the truth.
Okay, so nobody can say tomorrow at 435 you was on Delmar. Because you got a bunch of witnesses in here that say they're a liar if they say he was on Delmar. He was in the basement of the old Sirius building at 440. He was.
I've been here before 20 years ago.
So unless we're talking 20 years ago. One or the other. But truth is what truth is. Now, the only way we know you was here 20 years ago was a club in here, was you?
No, I was a
Stanky legging up in here
too,
then? Oh, you just buying some stuff up there?
No, the nation was there.
Yeah. Okay, the nation? Nation of who? What, the nation let you get out of here and you don't know what nation you from? That's all we saying, bro. That's I'm just messing with you. Thank you, bro. We gonna move on. We gotta get going. Where else we at? You gonna know who you are when you leave here, though. Go ahead. Let's get this caught up, y'all. We got number 14 minutes.
Hosea 2.
But that's the first thing you got to do, brother, is find out who you are. And how we find out who we are is we read this book.
Right.
This is our book. This is a book for us.
Right.
Because we the only immigrants brought to the United States as slaves.
Yes, sir.
They put us in bondage. They took our history. We don't have a national anthem.
No,
we don't
no.
have a flag.
No.
We don't have a home place to go back to because we were run up out of there in 70 AD.
Yes, sir.
But this book tells you from Genesis to Revelations about a group of people.
Right.
And in like this Genesis 15 verse, I'm gonna run this real quick.
Run it real quick, brother.
Actually, 15 and 1, I'm gonna start it there, and it says, after these things, the word of the Most High came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
Right.
I'm gonna jump over to 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. That's a description.
Yes, sir.
And shall serve them, and that they shall afflict them 400 years.
Now that was wrote 3,000 years ago.
Right, and this is the first chapter of the book.
Now, if the white man is able to orchestrate us in that pattern for 3,000 years ago and write it as he going along and put us in there, then he God. Ain't no need us messing around with it. Ain't no need us messing around with it. Go ahead.
Here you go, a second witness on this Deuteronomy 7 and 6. And it says, for thou art an holy people.
What kind of people?
A holy people.
Who the best singers? Who the best dancers? Who the best doctors? Who the best lawyers? Who the best boxers?
Who the best killers?
Who the best, yeah, that too. Who the best dice throwers? Who the best drive-by shooting artists?
Right.
I don't know about that killing part, man.
That too. That too. Because we kill our own. They kill us. We don't kill them. So that's even more of a problem for us. Ain't no drive-by shootings out in Chesterfield.
But it says, for thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy Elohim.
That's right.
The Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people.
What kind of people?
A special people. To him, unto himself,
right?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth,
right?
The Most High did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people,
right?
For ye were the fewest of all people.
Who called a minority?
Well, we're not the minority.
We're not? What we the majority of? Africans don't like you. Go in the African store right now and tell them, hey, African brother, and watch what they say to you.
No, they probably snap out.
You answer all your questions.
You hated by every people on the earth.
Chinese come here and set up shop in you because we the gold mine. They make millions and then they move out to Chesterfield. The Arabs in here, every liquor store on the corner, they sell us guns and liquor and then they go out to Chesterfield and live out there. Any Chinese live on your block? Any Rice House owners live on y'all block? I'm not asking that. Does any Arab that own the corner market over there, do you say, hey, Habib, what time you going into the market today? Do you say that? You know what they say that? Because they come down here to the gold mine, the biggest consumers that don't have nothing and spend all their money trying to be something.
That's right. Don't own nothing.
Don't own nothing, man. We came from Africa.
You got to figure out who
Northeast
you are,
Africa,
bro.
Jerusalem.
But now even in the Old Testament, in the law, you read the book, man. That's it's right.
You're not ready to go. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. We got to move on. you're not ready to go back because you're going somewhere you don't know what it's like. If you ain't never been to jail, you got to ask or get down to business and learn what jail's about or what's going to happen.
You ain't gonna be prepared.
Commissary gonna be taken.
Yeah.
I know how they go.
Your commissary gonna be taken too if you don't know the rules of jail. So while you in captivity, you gotta learn the rules of your captor to stay in good grace like that, so you don't go to the hole.
So you said lock up is all he meant?
All of these. Look, I want y'all to do this and then we're gonna move on. Write down Public Law 97-280.
Yeah.
And tell me what you get. This nation said this book is the official word of God. Do they have a Quran when they tell you to put your hand on it?
No.
Have you ever swore on the white man's book?
That's when they finish you there, you gonna.
Oh, so you swearing on something that a white man wrote? You swearing? Don't you know swear? You put your soul on the line? That's right. And you gonna swear on something that a white man wrote? You swear? Or do you affirm and say, I affirm? You know what they gonna say? You're absolutely right. You ain't never supposed to swear, according to the Bible, unless you gonna guarantee you can keep the oath that you made to God. That's the only time you can swear. But you can't do this in a court of law on this book, unless you don't know it.
But what if you hide, you just did whatever.
If you hide in court. If you hide in court, you already through. I'm just saying, bro. You already through. They're just going to give you some rehab.
Bro, the bottom line is this. If you want salvation, you want to get up out of here like you say, there's only one way.
That's right.
It's only one way, brother. And that's, you're going to have to get down into this book, because this book is a history book and it's filled with prophecies as to what has already happened, what's happening now, and what's to come. And this whole book prepares you for everything.
Everything.
Brother,
Every
there's
answer to any question.
absolutely only one way.
Can God give you dreams? I have a lot of dreams.
Good.
And that's a
It said you was gonna have dreams.
But this is the
Right.
thing though, brother.
And they help me with life.
But brother, if you don't have this, if you don't have Christ,
You ain't got nothing.
everything you get means absolutely nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Have you ever?
And if you was to die at this point in time,
Yeah.
without this being in your body, your heart and soul, that means you got a first class ticket to the hell. Lake of fire, homie.
Unless.
I'm just telling you, bro. What we dealing with here is about life and death, salvation and damnation forever. Brother, this ain't no this ain't no cakewalk, this ain't about funny games, this ain't about bullshit. This is about reality, salvation and damnation. You have to make a conscious decision what you want.
What you
Do
want.
you want to live or do you want to die?
That's it.
Yeah.
You want to live forever or you want to die forever?
And then
That's
you-
on you, brother. But you have to make a conscious decision right now.
And you know why? Because if you don't believe this book, you still gonna be judged by the laws of it. Have you ever stolen? I'm not asking you to tell that to the whole world, but if you have, there has to be some other book you trust to say, if I stole, I'll never die for, or I won't be punished for it. You understand what I'm saying? All of what you do to say, I'm gotta get in God's good grace, there's only one way to do that, and that's to keep his commandments. If you don't know what his commandments are, you don't know God. That's what he said. If you love me, keep my commandments.
Right.
Love ain't like me and you think that I can go buy some flowers, that's love. Love according to the God, he said, don't steal, don't steal. If you get hungry and you have to steal, so I know you ain't running no stunt on God, bring back 7 apples if you stole 1. Don't bring back 6. Don't bring back 5. Bring back 7. Like the script, like the law say. And then you'll be clear of stealing. You'll get a pardon for stealing. If you bring back 4, then that means you're going to steal again.
But the main thing is, bro, you need to find out what your true identity is and where you fit into this book.
That's right.
Because if you under the vibration that you are a Hamite, no, you need to, look into this book and see where you come from.
African nations is a Hamite.
Right. Yeah. But then even like
Where do I come from and who am I?
You come from
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
You're an Israelite.
You are a Hebrew Hebrew Israelite.
So what is my name?
Israel.
My name is Israel?
Yeah.
That's your surname.
Son of Jacob.
Yeah.
That just means I'm a son of Jacob, the father of the 12 tribes of Israel.
But see, when you get a chance, read Leviticus 26 and all of Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to read the last verse in Deuteronomy 28, which is verse 68.
Yeah, read
and
that,
it
bro.
says, and the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt just means bondage.
What's on the back of your dollar? Is everything on the back of your dollar from Egypt? No, I'm saying what's on it? God we trust. That means money we trust. And the Egyptian symbols all on the back.
All on the back of the dollar.
Look at the back of a dollar.
Right.
Who else money is the back of a dollar on like that? Is Chinese money got that on it?
No.
What's on the back of that dollar? You see that pyramid? You see that booty bird? You see that eagle?
Now listen to 68.
And who on the front of it? Is James Brown on the front? Luther Vandross.
It's a white man.
Right,
Okay.
now listen, I can say, and the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
That's right.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Now that was wrote over 3,000 years ago. So if the white man is that crafty and got us in this position, then he God. Ain't nothing else we can do about it. Because that's what the scripture we just read from God say. If he can do it like that, then he's God. Ain't no need us fooling ourselves no more. But if he's God, he wouldn't be hiding his writings from us. This book is everywhere. If you sneak off to the hotel, ain't it in his bottom drawer?
That's what he heard.
Ain't it on your grandmama table? This book is everywhere. Yeah, that's what I heard. This book is everywhere, and it's for free.
But then just like you saying too, you say the white man.
But we got to move on though, bro.
This last one, you say the white man wrote the Bible, but in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 16 and 17 says, all scripture is given by inspiration of Yah, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, and for instructions in righteousness, that the man of Yah may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. So you gotta know what's in there.
Yeah.
You know, 2 Timothy 2:15 says to study to show yourself approved.
Right.
If you not in there studying, you ain't gonna ever learn, because you can't just go by what somebody tell you are. You gotta read it and understand it for yourself. Know who the players are in this book.
That's right.
And then I guarantee you, brother, it'll be like they turn the light on in your head and you'll be like, they ain't never told me this.
Even though we in the position we in, knowing this ain't gonna change your position. Knowing this, you ain't gonna go outside and see a 72 Cadillac on Douglas. That ain't gonna change this.
Right.
What it's gonna do is put in your mind how to get that legally and enjoy yourself with it, you know, until you're able to ride in a spiritual chariot that's coming, bro. It ain't like it ain't never happened. We read about it all the time. You can't believe Noah built that ark and don't believe what's coming for us, or you just have belief. But y'all, we gotta finish this last one up, bro. We'll wrap with you out of class. It's just good, but what we do down here, man, we instant in season and out of season. Any question you ask, we're gonna prove everything from the Bible, just like bro did, just like Elijah speaking to you. So you would never have to repeat to nobody, oh, they say the Bible, God in the Bible, and we in the Bible. You should never have to say, if they ask you, show me where. You should never have to say, I don't know, come down there with me. You should be recording everything we're saying, because this is life. We may not see you tomorrow. You may not see us tomorrow. Death and life ain't promised us. Death is on the table. Whether you believe this or not, it's the second death that we worried about.
And you ain't gonna hear us up here say, brother, I think, I feel, I believe. No, it's what the scripts say, line upon line, precept upon precept. That's what this class is about.
That's what we did. We put all our chips to the middle, like you on the boat. We pushed everything to the middle on this. See, the Muslims, Farrakhan, they can't do that. You know why? Because they need to push this with theirs too.
Right.
But this don't use theirs. It has nothing to do with man-made religions. This is the doctrine of the Most High of the nations of the world. It's two different things, bro, but we got to move on, and we'll wrap with you right after class, but we got to finish up these last two scripts, because if you don't know what sin is, then you'll never understand the law.
What is it?
Sin is the transgression of the law. That means you break the law. But you have to know what you break.
If you don't know the law, how you gonna break it?
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Before you knew what stealing was, you didn't find out till she putting that belt on your rear end. That's when you found out what stealing was, didn't it? You didn't know what it was, but when she said, who took my KDDs and drank out of my Pepsi again? And when you said me, she showed you what the law is about that without asking.
Now he probably said not me, had chocolate on his hand, he burped that Pepsi
out of there, right. But we're gonna move on, bro. Let's pick this back up, y'all. We gotta get finished with this. We finished, where we at in that Jose?
Chapter 2, verse
18.
But any questions, bro?
You said what?
Any questions?
18?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
Sorry about that, y'all out there in land, but that's how we get down, bro. We'll hold the 99 and go get the one sheep.
That's right.
And bring them back to the 99. It ain't the other way around. We don't need 99 to come get you. Only 2 of us. That's all it takes. Let's get some more, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 18.
What it say?
And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heavens, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth. And I will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth thee unto me forever.
For how long?
Ever.
See, that's an engagement. Betroth means engagement. The Bible only talk about marriage. That's it. It's not talking about nothing else. You can't wear no crosses. You can't do none of that. That's idol worship. Can't do none of that. This is just jewelry. That's all it is. It don't mean nothing. I can hold this and think, here come 2 Ku Klux Klans at me. I'm going to hold this and they're going to turn around. No, they ain't. They're going to shoot a hole through this.
I know that too.
Go ahead, bro.
And I will betroth thee to me forever.
Right?
Yeah, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness.
In what?
Righteousness.
See, we going to make a marriage covenant in righteousness, not this BS. How we gonna be talking about engaged and Earl still calling you? The hell is that? This what we fight today under these laws or concepts of what marriage is today. Most High say it's his man and his woman. You know, and they keep my commandments, and then I'll be with that man and that woman. But you can't marry an Egyptologist woman.
Right. We already know how that goes.
Because she gonna put voodoo on you. That's what they do. She gonna put her drawers over your nose and she gonna be in the club while you sleep. And then when she come back in, right before she get in bed, she gonna pull them off and you'll wake up. What's up, baby? Nothing. I had to use the bathroom.
I know how that goes.
Let's keep moving, yo. Let's get it. Where we at? Verse what? Verse what, y'all?
19.
Go ahead, bro.
And I will betroth thee to me forever.
Right?
Yeah, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness.
Right.
And in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies. I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know the Most High. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will hear, saith the Most High, and I will hear the heavens, and they shall hear the earth, and the earth shall hear the corn, and the wine, and the oil, and they shall hear Jezreel. And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And I will say to them which were not my people, thou art my people. And they shall say, thou art my Elohim.
But we got to get to that point where we do that, but we have to do it in righteousness. Like you said, you having a lot of dreams. These Bibles said in the last days, the children of Israel and people that believe in the Lord or the God of this book gonna have dreams.
Right.
You can't sin in your dream. You ever stole something in your dream? No. You ever took somebody's bike in your dream? No. Well, I'm just telling you now. You ever saw a woman you ain't supposed to be with in your dreams and you would smile? Oh, okay. Well, good. You dreaming good then, because you can't sin in your dreams either. You know that? You cannot sin in your dreams. You know why? Because you're going to wake up and do it. That's why people wake up from nightmares and kicking and don't want to go back down that dark road. The same way with breaking the laws while you sleep. When you sleep, you cannot break the law in your dream. You cannot be dating Beyonce in your dreams. That's Jay-Z's wife. Right. She can't be your wife in your sleep. Because you know why? you'll have a nocturnal emission. That means a wet dream.
Wake up with some dream catchers on.
With some dream catchers on you, because you've been dreaming about Beyonce. She's a married woman. You cannot commit adultery in your sleep.
I don't dream like that no more.
we just telling you from a whole, bro. From the whole perspective, right? So I'm just giving you, because you have dreams. But this book tells you the only way you can dream. Sirach 34th chapter, Deuteronomy 18th chapter, Deuteronomy 13th chapter tell you, if you have dreams, these are the rules for dream. If you go outside this dream rule, you're going to have a bad dream. You're going to wake up kicking covers up to the ceiling fan, breathing heavy. I just got away. That nigga almost killed me in my dream. I got away.
I got away.
Let's get some more. Yes, sir. Chapter 3. Yo, this going to wind up as just a short verse, y'all. And then, before you hit that, Ezra, hit me 25:1, because we're talking about fornication, and we're talking about what the Most High love most. You got a lot of men out here with this man-made doctrine that they give a different name than if a man had 25:1. You know, that's what I was wanting. These 3 things the Lord loved more than anything here on earth, and He say these things I love. But when you hear somebody say, she ain't got to agree with me, I don't have to agree with her, I can do what the hell I want, that ain't in these scriptures. Because if it was, then you can do that with Messiah. And we see that the Negroes who doing that, that's exactly what they doing. They do whatever they want to do.
Right.
What it say, bro?
Sirach chapter 25, verse 1. And 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before God and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
See, so the Most High say, this what beautify me, and I know y'all love God. The unity of brethren. They can't let break these ranks. What else it say?
The love of neighbor.
The love of neighbor, and love is keeping the law. If your neighbor a Klansman, you can't love him. Because you try to take him some peach cobbler over there, he gonna tell you, nigga, get off the porch. That ain't your neighbor. A neighbor is one that keeps the commandments like you. I ain't gonna steal from you, you don't steal from me. I ain't gonna be on the passenger side of your car hot as hell and know them killers after me and ain't told you nothing. And you ain't got no tinted windows. That's the problem. I ain't gonna do that to you. So that, and what else it say in love?
A man and a wife that agree together.
That do what?
Agree together.
Agree together. It ain't saying that he can't do it. It's the fact that we have to agree this is going to be a plus for this relationship, not a minus.
That's right.
You can't bring another one in here because we ain't got enough money. Then that means you taking the money that she brought. So now she's diminished. It's still an addition relationship, and you bring a subtraction to it.
Well, we got all things in common.
All things in common, right? Right.
I can't tell.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at? Let's finish this up, y'all. We gotta get out of here.
Hosea 3.
Hosea chapter 3.
Right, because everybody else got a job except him.
Right, absolutely, bro. Absolutely, bro.
Hosea chapter 3, verse 1.
What it say?
Then said the Elohim unto me, go get, love a woman, beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Elohim toward the children of Israel, who look to other gods and love flagons of wine.
See, he said we look to other gods. We'll chase the Muslim because they look nice in them uniforms standing on the street corner. But they're whores. They're standing on the street corner. Like whores being pimped by one man with no righteousness. You tell me this done away with, and then every time they open their mouth, they quote a scripture and don't quote the Quran. You whoring around. Spiritually. Let's read some more. What else is that?
Verse 2. So I brought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for an homer of barley, and in half a homer of barley.
See, so even when we talk about there's no such thing as a free male, they're called female, they come with a fee. This is even a whore come with a cost. You don't get no free lap dances, do you, at the strip club, do you?
Everything come with me.
Huh? Everything, when you talk about a woman. If you get a free male and she don't charge you, you're going to be calling somebody and trying to explain she didn't look sick. What do you mean she didn't look sick? She was scratching and coughing. And then turn around, make love to me. What do you mean she didn't look like she had nothing?
Oh. Wow, Corona. I don't know that for.
Let's get some more, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3.
What it say?
And I said unto her, thou shalt abide with me many days. Thou shalt not play the harp.
Shall not do what?
Shall not play the harp. And thou shalt not be for another man. So will I also be for thee. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king.
That's what we're doing right now. Our last king was the Messiah. Jesus Christ, as we say locally, but his Hebrew name is Yeshua HaMashiach. Yehoshua. However you want to type, the mighty Redeemer. That's our king that's coming back to be king over us again. So we have to understand that ain't nobody else our king. No man you should ever be looking at in this position.
Right.
Because ain't no man ever gave his life for us. Them Negroes won't even give their own life. Shit, that's why they had Malcolm killed. That's why they always have everybody else killed, because they're not giving their life for their brother. But neither one of them can tell on each other, because the FBI told them, y'all can kill him and we ain't gonna lock you up. We just need that nigga gone. And Elijah Muhammad said, I need him gone too, because they ain't listening to me no more. They listening to that nigga. Guess what he told them about why he was so mad at him? Because he told them, you sexing all these young women and they on food stamps and you a millionaire. And you know what he quoted? This. Well, David sold his oats. I got to sow mine. Well, David's whole nation was punished for what he did, all his children. And that baby died he had. So you cannot use this for your bad behavior and point to an individual in there and don't expect the punishments to come.
Right.
And they came, they got it. Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 4.
What it say?
For the children of Israel shall abide for many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without cherubim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek the Elohim their power, and David their king, and shall fear the Elohim and his goodness in the latter days.
In the what days?
In the latter days.
See, we're in the last days.
That's right.
We're in the last days. We done 400 years, 1619, 2020 was 400 years here. But we end up doing 430 in Egypt. This has to mirror Egypt. So at minimum, we got to expect at least 30 more years to go by. 2050 is the longest we should be here, if it's according to the scripture, Ezekiel 20:33. They say we got to be like that, then we're going home, back to Jerusalem.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. Only those that keep the commandments.
And it's strange how 2020, the first plague didn't hit.
Yes, sir. And look, all y'all been seeing about these plagues, what the only book they ever say these plagues are like they written from? The locust, where they say it's coming from? Out of what book? Out of the Quran or out of the Jehovah's Witness, the Watchtower? Every news you witness say Bible proportion. Just like it was written in the Bible, these plagues are hitting the same way. Why ain't they pointing to the Quran or the Buddha scroll?
Or the Book of the Dead.
Or the Book of the Dead, Egyptology, or the Watchtower?
No strong reason.
It ain't pointing to them because there's only one book that told about plagues coming, and they coming again the same way.
There's only one book of prophecy ever written,
Just playing out.
right here.
Right here.
Only book of prophecy.
If you got another and they can do it, bring forth, then they God is God.
Right.
But they ain't gonna do it because you know why? They keep peeping in here. They born on they God. Let's get some more. What we at? We finished with that? Shalom, y'all going out? All right. Get in that word, y'all. Start about 1 o'clock, 1:15. On a good day, yes, sir. On the Sabbath day. Shalom, y'all.
All right, my brother, it was a pleasure. You come on back now.
Yeah, that's Sir Thomas out there. 1:30 to 5. Yeah, 1 o'clock to 5. That's right.
All praise.
Watch them dreams, brother.
All right.
Y'all, where we at? Let's get this last one. We finished chapter 3?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, y'all, this last one, y'all gonna get ready to close on out. Just want to touch a little bit on Exodus 21 because this deal with the final of what we're talking about of the many forms of marriage. So far, y'all, have we ever seen any marriage, anything talking about marriage, whether it's a whore or whatever it is, when the word marriage come up, what is the woman called?
Wife.
Wife. See, if you can't introduce her as a wife around anybody, she ain't. How you gonna be ashamed of your own self?
This is my friend.
And then there's only one type of wife in the scriptures too.
That's all it is, one type. Now she may play a different type, but there's punishment for that.
Right. No matter what she was before, whether she was a whore, whether she was, you know what I'm saying, a slave girl.
Yeah.
When she take on the title of wife, she's a wife.
I guarantee you ain't nobody gonna be looking to throw Hagar down on the mattress she used to carry. Not in the kingdom. They wanna meet who turned her back on her whole nation to save Caleb and Joshua. Yeah. That's who they wanna see. Right. They wanna see the last of her. But you got niggas hollering this word that ain't found in the Bible looking for Hagar and her mattress. Rahab, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. It's Rahab. That's what we talking about. Not Hagar, but Rahab. I was saying Hagar, he said Rahab. Yeah. But y'all see, this how we got our back. You know, there, in these other camps, they couldn't have been corrected like that. Who said that?
Take him outside.
Step to the front.
Take him outside.
You know the rules, even if we wrong, we right. Negro, you know the rules around here. It's Billy Paul. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. No, but y'all, we brother. We look out for each other. That's right. We make sure that we don't get attacked because some probably already typed. Look at that nigga talking about Hagar and this Rahab. Oh, some nigga just told him in the back. He So, y'all, we protect ourselves like that.
It's a shame some of the stuff they do.
Yes, sir. Right. Where we at? Exodus 21.
Zebediah.
Ezra on fire, man. Let Ezra
And I want y'all to understand, anybody out there that's practicing, if a man takes 2 wives correctly, we ain't got nothing to say to you, and you ain't got nothing to say to us because you don't have to prove anything to us. You know what you're doing.
Right.
We don't jump on there and claim we the best knowledgeable people on Facebook. That once again, here's knowledge head. Knowledge head. And he's off today. His foot was hurting. Other knowledge head, Elisha is sitting there today. No, ain't nobody bigging theyself up like that.
Knowledge head.
Let's get some more. Where we at?
Exodus chapter 21, verse 1.
Right.
Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them.
So right here, the Messiah tells, these are the judgments you finna set forth. And notice it said judgments. How you rule on a matter, that's judgment. It's justice and judgment. I want justice. That means you want righteous judgment, ain't it? Let's read some more.
Verse 2. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve. And in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing.
So right here, is the Bible contradicting itself? It says you shouldn't buy a Hebrew slave. You shouldn't do that. It's not contradicting itself. Once again, we start off with what's the very first word of that verse 2? If. See, so if you were to buy one, Hebrew slaves were bought under certain conditions. You may have had to redeem him from somebody of another nation. Right. You may have had to look. We redeem brothers all the time. It's called bond. A man go pay your bond. He's responsible for you. He redeemed you from the jail cell. And you got to go to court back for you to be released. But in that point, you're under his terms. So in like manner, there was times that men had a Hebrew slave, but you understand the rules started right off. 6 years, the 7th year, you got to let him go. Free. Did you see what the word said? Free. This keeps him. Now, all it's saying is, you got you a Jeffrey the Butler like on Fresh Prince. Right. That's all it's saying right here. You give him a contract. You get this your room, this your food, this your clothing. We got your clothes as long as you serve us. And then after that, you're free to go. after this contract is up. Slavery ain't what these niggas doing, backdooring and calling it double tights, and got people living in bondage cause they can't pay their bills cause they giving these niggas money. Priest fees and Passover fees and these high priest double honor fees to the elder fees. These Negroes got more fees than a Christian pastor got on that little envelope that you put money in. With building fund, this fund, that fund, this fund, and you ain't got no lights at home and these niggas don't care. What kind of shepherd is that?
You're supposed to send this servant out with substance.
With substance. See, the first thing David did in 1 Chronicles, what was it, 21, I believe, the first thing he did when he got the kingdom in his hand, the first thing he did is passed out to every man, 1 Chronicles 26, to every man and woman. And neighbors abroad who believe in our God gave him a flagon of wine, a nice portion of meat, not no scraps. Not no chicken wing been bit off of. All of that I'm showing y'all the new shepherd that's in town because I got to do what Christ did and what he's going to do when he get back. This is for everybody. That's what he did when he took off. He wasn't talking about cashing Israel out, was he? No. Got to cash Israel out. Got to get these niggas to do double type. Hell, we real men's is up in here. Shh. Get some more of that, bro.
Verse 3.
What it say?
If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him.
So these are the rules of a bondman. If he came by himself, he leave by himself. If he married, he leave with his wife. His wife is not a servant. He just worked for the White House. Like Oprah and what's the name of them what's that movie? And Forrest Whitaker was playing the butler. But she was at home.
Was that 12 years of slavery? No,
he was married.
That was the butler.
That was the butler. He was married though, but she wasn't waiting no tables in the White House. That was his profession. A Hebrew servant. Let's read some more. What else it say?
Verse 4.
What it say?
If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master, and he shall go out by himself.
Y'all see this now? Now if he give him a wife, I think you look pretty good with Bertha. Y'all probably make some good chillings. But at the end of them 7 years, the initial contract is still into play. It has not been altered. The contract can only be altered at the end. Let's see what else it say. How he can get his wife to leave with him. What it say?
Verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judge.
See what his master's got to do first? See, I just can't take your word for it. Where I got to take you to?
The judge.
We got to get this on paper. We got to get this on paper so it don't be no misunderstanding. You at the 6th year of your contract. You up next year. We got to take this to the judge. Same way as football players. Their contract is honored by the team that they being traded to, ain't it? Yeah. He got 2 years left on a $100,000 contract or whatever it may be, outrageous, lucrative figures. But they have to fulfill that contract and then he starts on there. Like a car warranty, 100,000-mile warranty. If you got 75,000 miles on your car, you don't get to put 175,000 miles on there. You got 25,000 miles on that warranty because it's 100,000 miles what's on your odometer. Not you get to add 100,000 to it. Right. Let's get some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
Then his master shall bring him unto the judge. He shall also bring him to the door.
To the courthouse, yeah, go ahead.
Or unto the door post. And his master shall bore his ear through with an awl. And he shall serve him forever.
See, then he should serve him forever because they made agreement, a contract signed. All he did is put an earring in his ear. You basically, that contract reminds everybody that he's my servant for life. But that's the deal. He's not in bondage. He ain't getting no testicles cut off.
Right.
He ain't getting whipped 30 lashes. He ain't getting none of that. He's like a brother, like, what it say in
love with the brother.
No, what say, what's that in Sirach, or where is that?
If thou art a servant and treat him as a brother.
Yeah, okay.
They don't treat Jeffrey any different. Jeffrey crack more jokes on Field and Will, don't he, on Fresh Prince? Yeah. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 7. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maid servant.
So right here, what we're talking about, is he pimping her out? Is this sex trafficking? Or what is he selling her to be? A maid servant. Understand what he's doing. His daughter's underage. He's basically like, you give your daughter, let your daughter babysit for the Campbells.
Right.
For a fee. Yeah. They're gonna pay you this much. We already got to make an agreement. You leave at this time. You don't open the door for nobody. Any of their relatives come by, you do not open that door. Those are the contracts. He's selling her as a maid servant. But these Negroes under that other doctrine think maid servant means sex slave. Oh. There's nowhere in any writing of the Bible, any of its scripts, that says there's a woman you can have sex with.
They lay down with everything then, huh?
For pay. Or because you take it, I'm taking you as a just hit you at night woman. That ain't in the scriptures, y'all. Anytime a man's covenant go into a woman's private, they have just took part in the second part of the marriage covenant. Notice I say the second part. You cannot put that covenant in a woman and tell her we're not married. Because if you do, then that marriage is called this. It's called fornication. It's illegal. Let's read some more.
Verse 8. Verse 8. If she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power.
See, now this prevents sex trafficking to a foreigner or somebody of another nation. Let me get over there in Indonesia, over in the Philippines, won't nobody know about over there. It's sell as a sex slave. See, you have to understand, this is only talking about a bondwoman and everything relating to the marriage of a bondwoman. Notice how next it said, if he espouse her to himself. If in the contract, after the 7 years, I can marry you, you're off limits to everybody up until the 7 years. When the 7 years hit, I have the option to marry you. Or I can trade you to my son. I just can't do it with a foreign nation. And then if I trade it to my son, I got some more rules I have to deal with this bond woman. Negroes have mixed the free woman marriage with a servant girl becoming a wife. Two different set of laws about a bond woman and a free woman. Sarah and Abraham wasn't married like Abraham and Hagar. Two different marriages. So when you read Galatians 4 and 24 down to the end, you understand that's why I say it's it's a parable, or it's a allegory. Allegory means it's going to be compared to something so you can get the understanding of it. The covenant didn't go through Ishmael, who was the son of the bondwoman Hagar, because she was a bondmaid. It went through the free woman Sarah. That's all it's comparing you to, just like Mount Sinai is the schoolmaster, Mount Zion is the place of the Lord. It's giving you allegories. It ain't fixing for you to say, I ain't got to do this. You're mixing free woman and bondwoman together. Let's read some more. What else to say?
Seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her.
Seeing that he had done what?
Deceitfully with her. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughter.
Now it switches. I can't be lusting after my daughter now. I'm finna give it to my son. That means she's daughter-in-law. I'm in Leviticus 18 now. The father can't look at the daughter-in-law, can he? Right. So now I'm in that. But notice all of the punishment is coming toward the man and not the woman. Because it says who dealt deceitfully?
The man.
The man. So what it's saying is you ain't gonna slip no sex trafficking up in here on us and sell her off to another nation, out of sight, out of mind. And she getting wore out overseas. You understand what I'm saying? Let's read some more. What else it say, y'all? We're going to close out very soon. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
What it say?
If you take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
Now, Negroes are holler, well, that's the son if he take him another wife. Well, whose food shouldn't be diminished if this is talking about the son taking him another wife? Is it the woman that's coming in? So if she's coming in with food, raiment, and shelter, you got to match that. If this talking about the son. But it's not talking about the son, because the language is not leaning that if the son take him another wife. It's leaning to the father that if he take him another wife after pawning her off on the son, because he didn't want to marry her, keeping the contract, he pawns off on him and then take him another wife. Well, her raiment, everything that she had with you under wife, you don't get out of that because you dump on your son. You can't bring another one in and then treat her better than this one. Or if you go with that one, it's still saying, if it's talking about the son taking another wife, who or which wife? Is it the bondwoman or is it a free woman that coming in? Which one of them can't be diminished?
Right. I mean, the bond servant or the maid servant.
So right. So it's leaning to her. So her rights are still there. You can't pawn her off on him and then he go get him another wife, and you think you're gonna divorce her? We get this female dog out the family once and for good. Oh, y'all see it all the time. All you have to do is watch Empire. It's the same thing. Father on the son that had a father by the daughter's wife. I mean, it's showing you exactly what it is. And they're taking each of them out of the covenant of the inheritance. We watch it every day on TV, y'all. We just look at the Bible as something different than a living book. Let's read some more. We're going to finish this off, y'all. We out of here.
Verse 11.
What it say?
And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money.
So the whole thing is talking about the bondwoman, not the new woman, because we're talking about she's still under that contract. Look, the contract said he give them to the son. That's part of the contract. But if he don't keep the shelter on his son, if he don't keep up the same upkeep her father did and keep that commandment, she's free to go. Now this a bondwoman. Now let's get down to a free woman. Now, if you can't do this with a slave girl, as they call it, what in the hell are you taking from the free wife you got? What does she get? What can you don't have to give her? You have to give this to a bondwoman. What about the woman that ain't?
You don't have to give her nothing.
You don't have to give her nothing.
She free, man.
She needs cashing out. She's a free man.
She's free.
You said she was the free woman. Nigga, you said it right up there in your class.
They will use that.
Hey, look.
If they ain't already.
Yep.
Let's get it. Where we at?
Oh, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. We're going to just hit just down to, okay, that was just right there.
Yeah.
That's all we wanted, y'all. And y'all, we would get into Ezekiel 16 because it lays this whole thing down. It's about the beginning of the marriage, the courting process, and the end of the marriage. And he told us how he decked us out with gold, and we played the harlot. Same way you men are being so mad that if your woman, you bought her new purse, shoes, and stuff, and she out the club slow grinding with somebody else. Slow grinding.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when somebody holler out, the DJ stops music, get a room. Doom, 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 and start the music back up. How angry you would be at that. It's the same way the Most High feels with us.
Right.
And he says, I will take care of your needs. You have no need. Notice the Most High never said want for us, did he? He said, if you want something, just keep the Most High on it and do the desires of your heart. And get the extras that you want. I got your needs.
That's
and
right.
the major need I do is keep breath in your body and a roof over your head and shelter.
That's it.
And not only that, but if you keep on, I got a better reward for you called a mansion and a plot with 1,000 cattle on the hill.
Can I hit this real quick?
Hit that, bro.
This is Sirach 39, verse 26.
What it say?
The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for the good to the godly. So to the sinners they are turned into evil.
See, because they'll have you start to worship those things that you need of the body instead of the Most High.
39.
So y'all, I hope that gave some good understanding on part 2 of that precept upon precept, which is rule of law. And the reason, y'all, I wanted to kind of get into uncovering the nakedness, but we had guests and we had to answer some questions really quickly, but I want to get into the understanding of uncovering nakedness in Leviticus 18. Y'all read all of that. Y'all read Leviticus 18th chapter, everywhere it says to uncover nakedness. And then you get into some Jubilees, the 25th chapter, 1 through 6, and you'll see what Reuben uncovered. And it says he snuck into Bilhah's house. Bilhah had her own house. You know, Bilhah had her own house and he snuck in there. Get into some Jubilees 25, 1 through whatever it is, 6, 7, 8. And then get into some 1 Chronicles 35. Get into 1 Corinthians 5, 1 through 4 and see what it means to uncover a man's nakedness. And then you will understand the curse be the man that uncover his father's nakedness. Today's term, they're called a mother for unlawful carnal knowledge. Mother, F-U-C-K-E-R.
Mother Alpha.
That's what it's called. That's why it's a curse word. We just don't know the origin of why it became a curse word. Cursed be the man that lives with his father's wife. Absalom did it to David because of what David did to Uriah. Let's get it, y'all.
All right.
Anybody got any questions out there?
No, sir, not so far.
Any of y'all listening too, y'all, Uriah had to get a new phone, so if y'all got Uriah's number, text him so he put y'all number in his new phone. Want to say shouts out too to them HK&P Landscaping brothers. Did outstanding work for me, y'all. I'm gonna leave a few of these up here. Brothers handling their business.
You got some flowers now?
Yeah, dude, they say they can do that. So that's on. I'm still waiting to try them out. I know one thing, they can cut grass in the edge.
All right, y'all, we're going to get this closed in prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahshua Mashiach, and we call him Jesus the Christ. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 82nd chapter, it reads, Yah standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah.
Selah.
Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like the one of the princes. Arise, O Yah, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Hallelujah! Selah!
Appreciate y'all. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to Brother Benny Yahoo.
Yes, sir.